준비될 때 그게 난 war. Now it's a battle but this is a war. I'll show you what I'm made of. Rise to the occasion. Got fears but I face them. Oh, and I'll show you what I'm made of. A heart full of fire, looking at a fighter. I got a way, it depends on the day that I forget. I'm the best that's done it. Hard on myself, put my heart on the shelf, cause I forget that myself needs loving. 어둠이 가려진 기억 모두 이제는 져. Cause I know that I can make it out. Those days I drop, sit on the floor, thinking I'll stop, can't take no more. 준비될 때 그게 난 roar. Now it's a battle but this is a war. I'll show you what I'm made of. Rise to the occasion. Got fears but I face them. Oh, and I'll show you what I'm made of. A heart full of fire, looking at a fighter. 어둠보단 밝은 미가 크잖아. 너의 가치를 너가 잘 알잖아. You know the darker the day, the more you shine. 어둠이 지나 밝은 하루가 babe. You don't have to be afraid. And I'm not cause today I'll show you what I'm made of. Rise to the occasion. Got fears but I face them. And I'll show you what I'm made of. A heart full of fire, looking at a fighter. I'll show you what I'm made of. What I'm made of. Yeah. I'll show you what I'm made of.
We at the top again, now what? We lay the crown, but count us higher than a mountain. And we be up here for the long run, strap in for a long one. We got everybody on one. Now you coming at the king, so you better not miss. And we only get stronger with everything I carry up on my back. You should paint it up with a target. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your spoiler, but we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you loving my name. You ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up. Take a lap now, don't be mad now. Run it back, run it back. I got bodies lining up, think you're dreaming of greatness. Send you back home, let you wake up. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your spoiler, but we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you loving my name. You ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey.
在以后，除了是傻子还有其他吗？我左右，键盘琵琶在时间滴答着，还不够。你的固执让我来守候，哪怕太迟也不想以后。就在这时放肆的挑逗。I got the heart of a lion, I know the harder you climb, the harder you fall. I'm at the top of the mountain, too many bodies to count. I've been through it all. I had to weather the storm to get to the level I'm on. That's how the legend was born. All of my enemies already dead and born. I'm ready for war. They know I'm ready for war. I told them we're taking over.
Hello.
Yo, there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Yes. And welcome to the final day of SFU's 2021 Raccoon Cup. It is me, Dia, joined by Miles Davis on the desk to bring you these two teams, 3 a.m. versus Lei Cha Chung Con, who have made it all the way here, and in pretty convincing fashion. Both of them topping out the stats in terms of their team, in terms of the individual players. We got a lot of talent on the board today, Miles, and I know you got the chance to cast one of these semifinals at the very least, so you're more than excited to get us into the games of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And considering Southwise they're top of their game, hopefully this is going to be a competitive best of 5 series. I'm hoping it runs to 5 games, but the momentum can carry one team either way, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, very, very, very well could go to 5 games. And I think the thing that stands out to me about that is that a lot of these teams have, well, they got a lot of win cons because we're at a high level of play. You can play through bot, you can play through jungle. Both these junglers stand out to me as extremely talented. And when you have that many people that you feel comfortable funneling gold into and trying to carry you over the finish line, there's a lot of different avenues into the game. 3 a.m. though, they do have one that I don't think I've seen mirrored on Lei Cha Chung Con. Kobe in the top lane is a player to watch this series for me.
Man, Kobe was a rock in the last series that I casted for him in the semifinals. That guy, he absorbed all the pressure coming at him. They threw ganks at him. They threw bodies at him again and again. But he managed to survive, and a lot of the games come out on top.
Yeah, more than likely, this guy is going to solo kill your AD carry at some point. So keep your eyes on the top lane. His laning phases are okay right now, but they're propped up by the rest of his team, who honestly have done really well. Even with a sub-jungler in for the semifinals, looked very convincing. And now TCT should be back on his main role to try and carry them, as we say, over into that finish line, over into the finals victory. The bot lane, though, of Lei Cha Chung Con are no slouches when it comes to putting out their own damage numbers, getting their own gold on the table. And for me, Corgi Dorgi is going to be another big player that I want to try and keep up with as the game goes on, see how Lei Cha Chung Con can enable him.
Yeah, we'll have to see, especially with all the power picks in the ADC role right now. We still have Kaisa pretty strong despite a bit of nerfs here in 11.4. Samira got kind of kneecapped, so we'll probably see a few more picks coming away from her, possibly Misfortune and Jin coming back into favor and stuff like that. But Tristana also possibly a hyper carry that we may see in this best of 5, and all kinds of things could happen in the bot lane right now. Seraphine could also still be a pick in the bot lane in the ADC role. So,
Yeah, you mentioned the Tristana, and my mind is cast back to the semifinals, like Tristana versus Lucian mid lane matchup that obviously was the victory that carried 3AM into the finals now. And I like that you bring up the Seraphine pick, because that's something that we've seen 3AM prioritize really, really heavily. And Skydoodoo looks really comfortable on it. So did their support from last week when TNT was piloting that alongside TCT in the bot lane. Now, I assume that they can still flex that pick. I feel like this is still going to be something the bot lane feels comfortable playing around. There's no reason not to pick it up, because it can do so much.
Yeah, pretty much. She can win you team fight. She can get for you priority in lane. She can be a support. She can be an ADC. She can be in the mid lane. So Seraphine might be a high priority during this series. And one other pick that I'd like to bring up is, of course, Senna, who has been cropping up now again, especially with the buffs that Riot gave her. With regards to her soul, she does massive amounts of damage right now, especially with her Kraken Slayer and Rageblade build. So that's something to keep our eyes out for.
And that's going to be something that I know we're talking about the champion picks right now, and you start thinking draft, but very specifically, draft is going to be really, really big in terms of the Senna Tahm Kench, because that's something that 3AM are very comfortable locking in early, that they will just take away from you. They know it's a strong bot side pick that they can have, and I haven't really seen it punished in Raccoon Cup just yet. It feels like a lot of teams are a little slow on the uptake, maybe not wanting to get aggressive into potential ganks from TCT, but if we can see Leicha Chungkan either take that away or play appropriately around it, around this bot lane that, as I want to continue to highlight, is a big win condition for them, I think we can see these aggressive punishes of the lane.
Yeah, and Senna Tahm Kench probably maybe possibly the strongest bot lane right now in this patch.
Yeah.
But there's still ways to counter it. We can still it's still possible to grab the Blitzcrank. It's possible to go for more main support to deal with the amount of health that the Tahm Kench has, and just melt him that way. So there are different ways you can play around it. But I think that it's either ban the Senna or you ban the Tahm Kench, honestly, if you don't want to pick it up or you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, and I want to see whether Corgi Dorgi and Olivia Highsimp are comfortable picking up those champions, because it would be a big boon for them later on in the series. This is the best of 5, and so you're going to have time to adapt to whatever picks win whatever team game 1, but you only have as much room to adapt as you're also willing to have flexibility, because your number of bans don't increase between these games. So being able to say, okay, maybe we ban Senna in game 1, we pick up a game 1 win now going into game 2. Can we give that over and still trust that we're able to adapt based on what we saw in game 1 is going to be a real test of these teams in a way that we haven't necessarily seen before. It was just the few best of 3s in the playoffs that have really put them to the test. But the longer series, the longer game here, the mental endurance that is going to be showcased is something that from both of these teams that we haven't seen proven. And honestly, at the amateur level, is something that varies greatly between teams based on their coaching staff, their practice time. It's going to be a real thing to keep your eyes on, sort of in the back of your head, in this matchup between 3AM and Leicha Chung.
Yeah, definitely. Stealth is definitely a factor that can go into this, especially now we're in a best of 5. It's a completely different beast from best of 3s or best of 1. And you can always cheese a best of 1 and win that way. But in a best of 5, you have to adapt. You have to have deep enough champion pools to be able to go the distance, and you have to be mentally prepared to, take a loss here and there and be able to come back. We've seen teams, of course, in the past come back from 2-0s, going for the reverse sweep. If you have the mental fortitude, if you can just break through whatever the enemy team can throw at you, then you'll definitely have a chance. And I'm excited to see whether these two teams have the clutch factor in them. You know what I mean? Whether they can really punch above their weight and go for broke when the time comes.
Yeah, and we have seen both these teams go up against each other before. As you say, best of one, not really giving you the most time to adapt, but it was Leicha Chungkan that walked away with the win over 3 a.m. in the regular sort of, what is this called, groups stage before we got into the playoffs. They were the ones that picked up the win in that best of one and looked really convincing doing it. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of answer to a jungler that got very strong early, Kitsuo, looking really, really scary, and then being able to enable then people like Corgi Dorgi and Olivia Highsimp to have such a massive impact on the game as they were sort of liberated from that pressure of having to carry. They were able to sort of ease into it. And with the changes to jungle, I do think that that might be a way of getting into the game and a way of continuing to survive into the later stages that might not be available to you.
Yeah, speaking of the changes to the jungle, we have a lot of things to think about there because jungle EXP and gold were nerfed, so carry jungles might not be viable in this patch, but we'll see if the teams are ready to deal with that or if they'll just stick to their old strategies. And right now I'm hearing that both teams are ready to get on to the draft, so I assume we're gonna go for that right now.
We should be. This is the time that the games will start. Even the mental games already having, I guess, finished. Everybody feels like they're ready. The trash talk in the chat is a little bit lower than it was before, but I want to see what these teams end up, like we talked about, prioritizing in the draft, because it is going to be such a big indicator of how the game will go. And we're into it now. We'll see what 3 a.m. and Leicha Chungkan choose to prioritize. 3 a.m. on the blue side are going to have the first pick of the game.
Yeah, the first pick will definitely be important. I think, of course, on blue side, you want to make sure you have the power pick. So I don't want to see possibly on blue side, you really want to be able to define your composition well. On red side, of course, you want to counter blue side's composition. So we'll see how drafting goes. 3AM really impressed me with their drafting in the last series, but they were on red side that time. Now they're on blue side. They were on red side for both games that they kind of dominated. So they had the counter pick, the red side counter pick available to them. We'll have to see what they can do on blue side, but they have first pick, of course. But we'll see what can they do when they're the ones that get countered.
Yeah, see what they choose to prioritize. I think this is really nice from them, though, right now. Banning out signature champions for Kitsuo.
Yeah, look at that. If the enemy jungler is the star, then, might as well just take his favorite champions away from him. Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, Rengar, all banned. Targeted bans, I'm assuming. Kha'Zix, pretty strong solo queue. Lee Sin, Rengar, I'm kind of on the fence off. I don't think Lee Sin's that strong, but maybe in this current patch he is. We don't know the fallout yet, but more standard bans on the red side. The Seraphine and Sen especially, definitely. Those are power picks you don't want to be giving over to the blue side.
It is in Kitsuo's hand, I want to point out. Lee Sin is something that I want to see this series because I've heard wonders about this guy's Lee Sin. I hope that we get it. I hope that ban comes off the table. But if you can pick up a strong jungler like Udyr, you mentioned that you don't feel like the nerfs in 11.4 really may have hit him that hard because of his ever presence in the jungle and sort of the ability that everybody's had, or the time that everybody's had to unlock. Oh yeah, Udyr is a really unkillable frontliner who just does a lot.
Yeah, pretty much, because Udyr, he's kind of activated already by level 4 instead of level 6 because he doesn't really have a traditional ultimate ability to play around. He has his Phoenix stance on his R and his Bear stance. That's pretty much all you need to run around and take control of the map. So Udyr probably still going to be a strong pick regardless in this patch because his base stats are just so high, and the chem tag especially synergizes with his kit so well, he can just charge at you and you can't do anything about it.
No, you're not going to have a super fun time. Although, with people like Kindred being picked up for Kitsuo, maybe a little bit of a surprise pick for me, honestly, you are going to feel a little bit more comfortable being able to hop over walls, buy space from Udyr that he can't dash over himself, not having that innate mobility that a lot of other champions do have. Kaisa Kindred is a pretty squishy composition to build around. Obviously, you need your AD carry, but the jungler not bringing any tankiness could be a problem, especially when Aphelios and Thresh are grabbed into that. There's a lot of chew-through damage on Aphelios.
Yeah, Aphelios is right now possibly the best counter to Kaisa, in my opinion. Kaisa wants to go in, especially during a team fight, and Aphelios, he wants people going in on him so he can unleash 200 years of design onto his enemies. So I'm very happy so far with the draft. 3M is choosing for themselves. They're able to get power pick for themselves and counter what Red Side is trying to bring. What the Kindred, the Jarvan, and the Kaisa will have a hard time this game trying to get to the Aphelios, I believe.
The Jarvan is really getting me. I know I've heard of Jarvan support. I can only imagine that's what this is because you pick Kindred and Jarvan at the same time. I feel like you could have saved this pick, but Leicha Chungkan feel A, confident, and B, like it's actually going to be something they need to prioritize first round.
Jarvan support is interesting. I am also not convinced by it. I don't think it's particularly that good. I mean, AP Jarvan is what we see as in the support role right now with Arcane Comet, I believe, and pretty much only his E is the one that scales with AP. So I'm not really sure what high elo players or competitive teams see in the pick yet. Maybe maybe Olivia can convince me otherwise, but I just don't see Jarvan as a good pick.
I think this has got to be some sort of cheese thing that Leicha Chungkan have practiced, because this is not something you would normally pull out and say the third game of a best of 5 where you have to win it, because it does seem so what?
Jarvan's not support? Is this top lane Jarvan? Are we bringing it back? Season 3, Season 2?
Is it mid lane Kindred? I've seen mid lane Kindred before. Mid lane Kindred is actually really interesting because you can coordinate rotations around this. It would be a really strange look from Omnix, but one that really emphasizes that mid jungle duo. I don't hate this.
Yeah, honestly, but it's kind of being a bit incohesive for me with regards to the comp that Red Side Electric Chung is picking, because I don't know what kind of theme are they really going for here. Are they going for picks? Are they going for team fights? It's kind of all over the place. Meanwhile, on the blue side, 3M, they got a solid team fight comp on their hands with Malphite and the Orianna. If this is picked, the Philo Stress, the Udyr, they can just press their R buttons and win the game.
Yeah, this is very ease of execution heavy. Azir is the final lock-in, but it doesn't really change the composition that drastically. Still very much team fight oriented. And Galio being hovered, I don't expect to be the lock-in, but when have I ever expected anything in this draft? I feel like as soon as the Jarvan locked in, it's just been continual surprises from then. So we'll see what they end up picking up.
Oh, Mordekaiser?
Okay.
Oh, it is a Mordekaiser going into the Malphite. So this is an interesting pick. Riftmaker was nerfed in 11.3, so I don't think Mordekaiser is extremely strong, but I do know that Mordekaiser has a very good matchup into the Malphite. So I think they probably want to be playing towards top side in this case. Get this Mordekaiser ahead. Oh wait, is Mordekaiser going mid?
I'm trying to figure that out too. I still feel like the Kindred mid is the way to go. But if you like the Mordekaiser into Azir matchup, I guess I'm not going to tell you no. It feels really weird, but it does give them, especially with solo lane and Jarvan, Mordekaiser potential. There's a lot of beef. There's a lot of lockdown here. I could see them going for some sort of death ball composition. It would take a lot of outskilling of 3AM, though, because the barrier of execution is so much higher than theirs. You mentioned this earlier, being able to press all your R buttons is something that they can do. Leicha Chungkan do not have that luxury, no matter where these laners go, and it looks like Mordekaiser will be going into that mid lane.
Yeah, it's been locked in. There's no switching. Mordekaiser into Azir is not a matchup I am completely familiar with, to be honest, because I have not seen it in I don't see it in solo queue. I don't really see it that often, but maybe Omnix is just very confident in his Mordekaiser play. I know it used to be played in mid a lot, but into the Azir kind of will have priority over that lane, I believe. Azir can just outrange the Mordekaiser, harass the Mordekaiser as much as possible, so the mid priority will be in the favor of 3AM. The top lane, Malphite versus Jarvan. Jarvan should technically be able to win that, I believe, because he's Bruiser going into an early game tank. So Jarvan should be able to get some priority for himself in the top lane, and I'd like to see Kindred play more towards either to the side lanes in order to get these guys ahead, get this Jarvan ahead so that they can start diving. They can start going in as early as they can, because when things start scaling up, that Azir and that Aphelios will start unleashing so much damage.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see a lot of action around the map to really figure out who's gonna win these like 15-20 minute fights, though as it does get later, the scales tip further and further in the favor of 3AM, who have had really confident early games before. Chung, not nearly as much of an early game team that we've seen so far. They could be showing us new colors here. But I struggle to see exactly what they want to go for in the early game if it is going to be that way, because Kitsuo is not in a huge ganking jungler. I guess you can go top lane and try and shut down Kobe, but Kobe's also on a Malphite. Remember we talked about this guy being a big carry threat. Now you've got him on a big tank, so maybe not so much. And the question to me is, where is that now coming from? Are you putting all those eggs into Buckzak's theoretical pocket? I don't know if Aphelios has pockets. He does have a lot of gold per minute, but it hasn't always translated into damage per minute.
Yeah, true. And Kobe, we know he may be a carry threat, but he plays weak side just as well as he plays carry. So, it'll be probably hard to break him, especially since, he's on a Malphite. That Malphite can just easily walk out of a lot of ganks in the top lane. But Kindred, probably wants to match that Udyr. We'll see if he's able to catch up, but it will be kind of hard without any mid priority, honestly. Azir should be able to get the shove on Mordekaiser, and that will allow Azir to be able to help Udyr when he tries to invade, when he tries to make plays around the map. So that's what I expect 3AM to do. And, Chung has to be able to respond to that, and I'm not sure if they really have the necessary tools in their champion kits to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult to repel invades, and vision is going to be something that you need to prioritize, because if you get caught face-checking a brush that has TCT and Skydoodoo in it, that has Azir Udyr in it, you don't get to play the game anymore, especially as Kindred. You don't have that much mobility to be able to escape. So we'll have to see if Kitsuo specifically can play really out of his mind in this game to try and avoid the very clear win condition and lane plans that 3AM have drafted for themselves. Right now, we get to take a look at all of the summoner spells, all of the runes that have been taken. We do still have the potential for a lane swap with a Jarvan mid. I don't know how much more hope it brings me into an Azir lane, but
I think Jarvan and Azir would be
rough,
worse, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
I feel like that's even worse, yeah.
So instead of Conqueror, we have a Jarvan with Grass. So what this tells me is that Jarvan is going for a more tanky build. I'm assuming probably going to go for that Sunfire, going to go for Protect. Going to be there to basically protect his ADCs, the Kindred and the Kai'Sa. Of course, we can't deny their scaling. Kindred in the late game and Kai'Sa in the late game can do so much damage, but it will be very hard to isolate the Kai'Sa W onto target, especially with the Aphelios and the Azir having so much protection with the Malphite, Udyr, and Thresh helping them out.
We are finally onto the Rift now, as Chung do get into the 5-man spread, and 3AM responding equally. No cheese, surprisingly, from Chung. I expected them to try some sort of weird level 1 to try and get ahead right now, but I think you recognize that even with your kind of odd, non-traditional composition, you still don't have the tools to make that level 1 play happen.
I think Braum probably has a really good level 1, and they could go for an invade, but TNT can just resist that with the Thresh. He can just block off the Braum with the hook, with the flay, and stop any invade from really happening. So I like the fact that they're deciding to play this bit safer, and we'll have to see how the laning phase goes, because I think that will pretty much dictate how the rest will go. If this Udyr can get online and start pulling the Kindred out of his own jungle, then things will start looking bad for Chung. But if Kindred can counteract that, can keep up with the Udyr, then Kindred will definitely outscale the Udyr in the late game.
It is a lane swap, by the way. It seems like Sunny is the one going into the mid lane right now, which is not something that any of us expected. Might be able to poke out the Azir, maybe, but hasn't taken the Ignite either. I want to watch Kitsuo right now, because as much as I talk about this bot lane as being the carry threats, Kitsuo is the one that is going to need to get one of these juggernauts off the ground.
Yeah, pretty much. And okay, so since the lane swap happened, the Mordekaiser into the Malphite is a much better matchup for the Mordekaiser. He'll be able to bully Malphite out of farm in the top lane, so there'll be decent amount of priority there. But again, Azir into the Jarvan, I'm not sure if that's going to be a matchup you wish to take. We'll have to see if Sunny will be able to last, honestly.
Yeah, and it seems like that's going to go for the bot lane as well. Leicha Chungkan actually getting bullied out by Buckzak and TNT as Jarvan goes aggressive, I guess, as you only can at level 2.
Yeah, might as well make use of that Jarvan level 2 power spike in the mid lane while Azir's still kind of weak. But the harassment from the 08, there's that.
Gorky Dorky got ignited, does end up burning the flash, not the heal, to stay alive, and Olivia High responding with an ignite of their own is double summoner for the single one.
Yeah, already we see how the lanes are going. This Fresh Imperial's lane is really able to bully the Braum and the Kai'Sa. Braum, he's not always considered to be the best laner. He's you pick him mostly for team fights, for safety, in those kinds of situations. But you know, it's kind of hard to see the synergy between. But here's again. Yep, you're seeing it coming in.
Kitsuo's around the bot lane right now, is spotted on a ward as Buckzak is able to just position appropriately, dodges out on the key skill shot from Olivia Highsimp, and that's how the ganks do be as Kindred. Now an invade into his jungle. Flash Bear Slap actually with the flash hook as well. Might be able to clean up the kill. First blood goes over to TCT, and now Braum left up creek without a Kindred. Is going to go down to the burn, unfortunately, giving over a double kill to TCT. 3 a.m. Get off to a great start.
That's a disaster. TCT making good use of the bot lane priority. He had being able to invade onto Kindred like that, and he just has the base damage to do it. The Phoenix and the Bear Slap will just do it to him, and now he can double scuttle Kindred if he can make it there in time. Mordekaiser is already on the way trying to secure the buff for his Kindred. But
yeah, this is not a good position to be in. There is a lot of safety here with the ability to jump as Kindred.
Oh,
unfortunately, that was a very weird flag and drag onto the tower that has now cost at least Kitsuo his life. Now, perhaps even Sunny going to go down as well. We do have a roam from Omnix that brings him into the mid lane. Flash one more time expended and does manage to land a shutdown for Sunny. You're happy with that as 3 a.m. It costs you a lot, but you get the kill.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll have to give some credit to Sunny that being able to roam down there immediately, knowing that he has to help his jungler, or else Kindred getting set far behind will be detrimental to their game plan, you know.
Oh my god.
Oh man, Sunny. Doing so much damage to him. He's just diving.
Hello? Omnix actually just asserts his dominance in 2 different lanes. Walks to mid lane, helps his mid laner pick up a kill, and now might finally be shut down because everybody else has arrived. Teleport from Skydoodoo will land him some kill participation, but it is TCT that picks up his 4th kill of the game. This Udyr is massive.
Yeah, and now we see the power of the Udyr and what he can do, starting from not even level 3, as I said, starting from level 1, he's already being a menace to everyone, to the whole entire map, and he's using the lane states to be able to help himself. And the fact that he's able to get scuttle grabs, get control is huge right now, putting Kindred very far behind, and you know, having to fight a Fed Udyr in the early and mid game is going to be a nightmare to deal with.
Jarvan's going to constantly go in right now, although with no vision on the map, it does seem risky. Not currently being punished by 3 a.m. as Udyr has much more important farm to pick up than a Jarvan who's might not be the juiciest target at the moment without the actual lethal damage to kill him. This could be lethal though. Good play after following up the hook. Olivia Highsimp goes down in the bot lane in the 2v2.
And 2v2 just going in favor of the AM right now. The Thresh being able to deal with the Braum super well, and I was going to point this out before, but Braum, you don't really pick him to win lane, you more or less pick him to protect your AD carry, but it's a Kai'Sa, she's going to go in eventually during the team fights, and I'm not sure if it really synergizes super well with the Braum pick, honestly, so yeah, as we talked about during camp select, the team composition kind of all over the place, but Sunny.
I mean, I guess if you're just going to let Jarvan go in over and over again, eventually he will take you down. Sunny finds the kill, and that's why we have the Jarvan pick so early on. Good Lantern does get TCT to safety. TCT and TNT is a duo that I really like. I like that they're able to roam around the map together, and simultaneously, I hate that their names sound so similar.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit hard as casters to be able to deal with it. But, you know, we carry on. We'll have to run with it anyway. And, you know, TNT, I'm impressed with the way he dealt with this laning phase, being able to get that 2v2 kill onto the Braum. And, you know, there's a big solid advantage in the bot lane right now. And as you said, the two main carries will be in the bot side. So we'll have to see how well TM can translate this lead over to the team fights, over to having control over the rest of the map.
We'll find out what they can do. With the first dragon already being picked up by the side of 3 AM, though, you won't have to rest control for too much longer. Let's see, Leicha Chung are looking for the Rift Herald right now. TNT is not going to give up any pressure in his own jungle, although now, with the roam from Olivia High, might actually end up giving up his Gromp. The backup is here with Omnix as well. Thresh landing another beautiful hook. The TCT TNT combo, the explosive duo is here, and joined by Skydoodoo with a great Shurima shuffle. Launches 2 into the middle of where they do not want to be. Death Realm does get used though, and picks up a kill onto Skydoodoo, who can't really do anything, but if you're looking for people that can't do anything, it is Kindred in a Lamb's Respite, all alone against 3 people.
Yeah, Kindred wanted to fight for that mark, but the fight's not over yet. More guys are still, and he's going to get taken down. A few will kill over to the Aphelios, and things are looking better and better for 3 AM here in this fight, as their main carries are getting fed. Azir is having a bit of trouble, but, you know, as long as that Aphelios is getting stronger and stronger, you won't really have a problem in these team fights. And Azir, he still has the Shurima shuffle to work with, so even if he gets far behind, he's still useful for the team.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned it. That's exactly where the gold needs to be right now. The fact that TCT was getting fed earlier was cool, and it was kind of scary for Leicha Chungkan, but it wasn't going to be the thing that ended the game. 3 kills on Aphelios could just end your game. That's the genuine worry that you have to have now, and we've got a little while until that is actually going to come into effect, until the team fight is going to need to happen around this, what we expect to be Cloud Dragon. But with the Mythic likely complete by then, Buckzak should be able to run team fights and deny Leicha Chungkan the ability to play the mid game. And the late game, I'm not sure if you can really say confidently that it favors them, so it becomes very difficult to see what sorts of ways they can find into this game. What do you think?
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I think if they can keep helping the Kindred. They tried to fight earlier for the Kindred mark over on that Gromp, but, you know, 3 AM was able to respond well to it. But I think they still need to try and go for that, except go for it with a little bit more planning in mind, and take advantage of where the other team is before trying to commit to a play like that. You know, if they can get the numbers advantage, then surely they'd be able to win a fight, and it will allow them to start getting small leads for themselves. And that builds up over time, you know.
Yeah, that vision is something that you're really going to need to prioritize. As Leicha Chungkan, I'm wondering if we get another 2v2 kill, which is why I've paused briefly. TNT could look for the hook right now, especially with TCT in the brush. Doesn't have the Rift Herald that we saw the small skirmish around earlier, as it does get dropped right now, and should be able to crack this bot tier 1 tower, giving even more gold over to the 2 already fed members.
Yeah, Aphelios wanting that gold, so that's a good decision by them. Drop the Rift Herald there in bot lane, and so first tower going.
Gravitum ult, flash hook, doesn't find it. Oh, I was so unlucky. I was
You were clenched there, man.
I know. It's so scary, dude.
That was a close one. Nice try to play, and looks like
I think Skydoodoo does end up failing to jump over the wall, but still manages to survive, thankfully.
I'm actually surprised Sunny was able to play this lane really well.
Yeah, it's actually up in CS. Weirdly and importantly, 20 CS up on Azir isn't nothing, and it's actually the real only CS advantage that you have. You have a little bit in the bot lane that is completely outmeasured by the kills, but the Shurima Shuffle starts a fight out of nowhere. Bucksack has plenty of space to work with right now. Gravitum in his pockets. Corgi Dorgi's not going to be able to get involved in this fight. Kabi finds the double knockup, and Omnix is all on his own. Does manage to grab somebody into the death realm right now as Kabi's trying to survive against this very, very tanky Mordekaiser. Now pops out, though, right into the face of the Fed Aphelios, who heals under the tower, looking for the turret dive. Bucksack, don't take the one more! He survives on barely any HP! But 3 a.m., despite not losing their AD carry, they still find a fight. I think we may have lost you. So I'm gonna continue because I'm pretty sure that is what happened right now. It will be, as everyone could have expected, Dragon ends up going over to Leicha Chungkan, or sorry, to 3 a.m., who had just won the fight around the mid lane. Now are going to be able to expectedly continue that, as I believe we have Miles back. I've already messed something up, Miles, so please save me.
All right, so thanks. It's okay. I've messed up technically on my end, so we're both messing things up together. At least, you know, if you're gonna make a wrong decision as a team, do it together. That's how I think. And speaking of that, I think that's what Leicha Chung needs to do to get back into this game. They need to commit to something, be able to get a lead somewhere in order to claw their way back in. Possibly be able to get a pick. You know, but I think this Azir would be a good target for them. At least maybe they can dive in with the Kindred and the Killer Instinct from the Kaisa, and you know they just need to get something to claw their way back into this game. Otherwise, Aphelios will just run them over, as we saw tonight.
We have a little bit of odd posturing here from Kabi with no vision. Sunny's on the roam, and it could be a very dangerous spot for the Malphite to be in. Does manage to walk away. Has the ultimate off cooldown very soon as well. So will be able to get himself to safety if anybody actually did show up to try and capitalize on the overstep. And right now with everybody top lane as well, you can only imagine that it would turn into a top lane turret for 3 a.m. As Bucksack is going to feel very confident even pushing this one in on his own. The vision is so present for 3 a.m. and it just doesn't exist for Leicha Chungkan.
Yeah, they pretty much have control over the entire map, and you know, Leicha Chung's bot lane, they have to be aware that a dive is definitely possible onto them. They have to be playing it safe here in this top lane because already we saw the Azir posturing towards there, and you know, it's always an ever-present threat. And I think just playing safe will be important for them because if they give up this tower, they're ceding over more map control, and it will just snowball more and more from there. And
nice ult in the mid lane is going to capitalize on what looks to be an overextended Sunny, but with a flash over the wall and the Shurima Shuffle, or the slide back, Sky22 barely survives. Sunny keeps going aggressive, as I expect him to be all game, but it will finally result in a kill for Kitsuo, who now is not going to have any of a fun time at all. Might actually result in a death realm there. The teleport saves the jungler, and you do get not a free kill, but a kill at very little cost, as the losing team is going to favor you.
Yeah, true, but you know, it's not shutdown gold. The Azir isn't the one that's fed on the enemy team. It is the Aphelios, and that's probably going to be a much harder target to cast, especially since he has the Thresh Lantern to get away when you're going for the... Oh, that was a close one. And you know, fun fact, I don't think Kobe has died yet in the semifinals. So far, he's remaining deathless. And now on this Malphite 1-4-0, we'll have to see if he remains that way. The entire semifinals, he didn't die, so that's an interesting stat to look out for. Maybe Kobe can finish this entire season, this entire playoff without a death so far.
That's probably his secret, because I was looking at this earlier, and he has the highest KDA right now, and the third least deaths in the entire tournament. So very, very, very much somebody who has struggled to be taken down. Leicha Chungkan haven't actually put that focus into the top side that you might expect when going against somebody like this, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he's on Malphite. Any prep that you had as Leicha Chungkan around exploiting this top side has been more or less nullified by the fact that you can't actually punish the Malphite that much, and it's turned into this very weird game where it feels like Leicha Chung are a little bit lost in terms of where they should be on the map.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way, to be honest, and it's kind of hard to think about a way to get back into this. The next dragon is coming up. It will be an Infernal Drake, and having that in the hands of Aphelios is it's just gonna be a nightmare for you. So they're gonna have to probably fight this. Otherwise, they're giving up Soul Point, or they could decide to farm instead and decide to just give it away and fight at a later date when they have more items, when they're able to stand up in a straight 5v5. And it's gonna be hard to.
It's going to be really difficult for them. Yeah, Skydoodoo is pushing in the mid lane right now. I was thinking about the other person who is deathless, Corgi Dorgi. Actually, still technically hasn't died. And it's so important because it is the win condition that we highlighted for Late Shot Chung Kan. Skydoodoo gets put in the death realm, invests the wall to stay alive, and no kills have yet been found by Late Shot Chung Kan, although they do find an isolated Aphelios who actually gets shut down. It's done by Kitsuo to find that final little bit of damage, and now you're left without a lot of damage on the rest of the team. Flash forced out of TNT as the Cataclysm would have otherwise trapped him in, and one pick, but one big shit pick for Late Shot Chung Kan might turn into the Infernal Drake that they so desperately needed, but they still want to go aggressive. They're still looking at this tower. The pull back in from Mordekaiser does take down TNT, and they find themselves 2 kills in a situation where they have no right to do so. Now perhaps being able to rotate back onto this Infernal Drake, they clear out the vision. Late Shot Chung Kan showing signs of life in this game, might still be able to take it after all if they continue playing like this. Sunny goes aggressive one more time. The Killer Instinct to finish him off as well. Everybody's going over the wall to finish the last couple of members, and it's an unofficial one, but that's an ace. Absolutely insane play from Late Shot Chung Kan to find these advantages in the unlikeliest of places. They don't even lose their mid tower for it here, just barely hanging on to life. And Sunny will be able to protect it for now. I expect it to go down very soon to Bucksack, but it has been a surprisingly tight game. Welcome back, Miles. That was a crazy one to miss.
Yeah, no, I was able to catch it. The camera may not have worked on me and I lost my voice, but I was able to catch everything about that team fight. So they were able to do exactly as I said, find a pick onto the Aphelios, and because of that, they were able to just translate into team fight victory because all the eggs are in the Aphelios basket right now for 3 a.m. And if Aphelios just goes down, then they will not have the damage to be able to win any other team fight. Azir is too far behind to be able to do that, and Kaisa and Kindred just go down.
You can see Aphelios did end up picking up the QSS as well. Does not want that to be repeated. As I think as 3 a.m. you recognize, oh yeah, that is Lei Chung's win con. If they can just take out our AD carry, we actually don't have that much more outside of somebody like Azir, who has been honestly having problems all game into the way that Sunny has been playing. It's difficult to maintain, and that itemization really showing that at least they know they had it once.
Actually, I think Aphelios had the QSS already during that team fight and wasn't able to activate it in time before getting CC to Oblivions. So
that's tragic.
They recognized it at least before, but a bit of a blunder there, a bit of a misplay there, and someone got caught.
You're telling me it wasn't enough right now? It might not be enough again. Great Lantern though. Keeps Bucksack safe, at least for now, but there's so much dive here. He's forced to use his flash as well and still has 3 members on him all alone. Corgi Dorgi goes on a rampage here, picks up a kill before being taken down by Skydoodoo, but now, like we say, there is no more damage left outside of TNT, who is apparently just running down members one by one of Lei Chung Kan. Now you've only got the one dude left alive, although with Omnix showing up, that could change. Has a lot of damage, but not a whole lot of chase down. Puts Kabi in the death realm, might be able to pick up a kill. This is a very tanky Malphite, and on the other side of this, TNT is going to be waiting for you. Gets the stun, and Kabi does end up going down just barely. Omnix is huge right now, and it's the only thing that actually turns that team fight into slightly favoring, I dare say even going even for the side of Lei Chung Kan.
Yeah, that was a very close one. They were able to get the Aphelios. Azir was able to do so much damage, but this Udyr, his mid-game power spikes has already come. The camp tank being able allowing him to just charge into that fight and deal tons of damage. He was able to isolate the Kindred, and once Udyr gets on the Kindred, there's not much Kindred can do to stop him. And I think that team fight was honestly safe on the back of the Udyr pick right there. So props to him for being able to save it. But they have to be able to protect his Aphelios more. They can't just can't let him get doped over and over. Otherwise, things just could go wrong at the drop of a hat. So the game's still pretty close. Chung, they were getting rolled over, but now they brought it back. So I'm excited to see this in this first game already. We have a back and forth.
Yeah, this is so tough to stop as well, and you can see Bucksack really, really struggling with trying to stay alive, investing everything. Now no flash for the next 3 to 4 minutes is going to mean it's a lot easier to kill the Aphelios. Only has that Lantern for safety, but if we look across the board, everyone else's flash is down as well. Everybody committed everything to that Aphelios. Sunny, Kitsuo, Corgi, Dorgi, all at the same time trying to stay on top of him. And those, likewise, aren't going to be tools that Chung have in their pocket for the next fight, depending on where it happens. And with 56 seconds on the Dragon, 3 AM are going to have more than enough time to set that one up.
Yep, they do have priority over the mid lane. That means they can have control over the river, be able to set up vision there. And as you said, the flashes are on their side. Only Mordekaiser will probably have his flash up in time for this dragon fight. So maybe they can pull off something there, isolate the Aphelios away while they take care of the rest of the team. But we'll have to see if they're able to pull it off. Malphite has his flash, Azir has his flash, so all the playmaking tools, Thresh has his flash, so all the playmaking tools are available to 3AM for this upcoming dragon fight.
Moonlight Vigil and Gravitum up is not exactly what you'd like, although we got an initiation anyway with Kobe being sucked into the middle of the team. Right now you're going to have to front to back this, and that should favor Aphelios every day of the week. Has red-white as well. This could be a very dangerous team fight for the side of Chung, and they're being chewed through one by one. Bucksack has to burn the QSS just to stay alive, though the dive, the killer instinct, almost finishes him off, but it's not quite enough damage. The shutdown comes in on both AD carries. Flash away from Skydudu keeps him up for just a little while longer. Triple kill on the back end, and ever so slightly, we have just TNT alive at the end of that.
Oh my gosh, that team fight. It was front to back. 3AM were doing everything they can to keep Aphelios from getting killed, but dive from Kaisa, the dive from everyone almost got him. It was the 1-for-1 trade for the AD carries, but Azir pulling a clutch there with the Liandry's burn ticking down, was able to take down everyone else. So it's kind of weird to say who came on top there. I think 3AM came up on top. A lot of the kills went onto the Azir, who now has a solid bounty on his head and an item advantage over his counterpart in the Jarvan.
I mean, I think we're going to get the chance to see this one more time, because
Yeah,
I think the teams are likely just going to run to Dragon off cooldown right now, because this would put you on soul point if you are 3AM, and you got to imagine they want that to be able to close out this game. Teleports invested from Chung. Kobe does have his ultimate available. That's a nice hook to land, though. If you can get this pick, you can change the fight. Omnix should just go down here. Skydude is the one that lands the last hit. Sunny, though, starts the dive up onto Bucksack, who, as we know, is the target, but doesn't quite finish it. Now it is a systematic chew through. Bucksack has plenty of time to free fire here, and Olivia Highsimp is no more. 2 members of Chung limp away, but that is what a nicely executed front-to-back team fight looks like, and the Shurima shuffle just to try and finish it off. Does get the killer instinct out, but it's not quite enough as the shutdown is picked up by TCT.
Yeah, now they can just turn towards the Baron. They brought, I thought it looks like they're trying to go hero mode on this one. I don't think he'll survive though, and oh my gosh, Azir barely living with his life there. An ace going over to the side of 3AM. Now they can just turn to the Baron, get that, and extend the lead for themselves. So Soul Point, Infernal Drake, and the Baron, you'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, even if you get Azir there, it's not going to stop this Baron. It's one less Baron on the table, granted, but this is the time for 3AM to have a lot of fun, because they've just rocketed themselves ahead. It's been 2K gold leads the entire game. We finally rocketed forward to a 4K gold lead, and with plenty of kills exactly where they need to be on Skydudu, finally on Bucksack, as they have been all game. You have the carry threats to be able to play this so well, and I do not want to undervalue TNT's gameplay so far. This man has been on point with the hooks, with the flays, with the freaking lanterns. This guy's got everything.
Yeah, pretty much the Thresh proving to be extremely valuable, and that team fight was won off the bat off the pick onto the Mordekaiser, onto Omnix, and the way it played out is just that the team fight basically couldn't happen Lei Chung because, well, they just got picked apart before everything could happen. Mordecai's are going down immediately. Then Jarvan trying to dive in and save the situation. He got taken down too. Olivia getting hooked by Thresh again. You know, there's just nothing we can do when you're picked apart like that.
Shurima's legacy is used in the mid lane, which is going to give 3AM plenty of pressure to take down at least this first turret. But now with the Baron, the question is always, can you break the base right now? Can you put that first nail into the coffin of Leicha Chungkan? Because you have the tools to do so right now. Playing this one very, very carefully, respecting the potential engage from people like Sunny and Olivia Highsimp is going to be how 3AM take this one slowly but surely, and they land a hook to finish it all off as well. Sunny left with only half the HP bar as 3AM continue to play this one respectfully, slowly but surely choking out Leicha Chungkan from their chances of being able to even defend their own base.
Yeah, pretty much, and the siege is coming through. Aphelios and Azir are definitely online now. They both Zir having 3 items already means that he's doing outputting so much damage, and he's something that Lei Chachel now have to worry about, unlike before where he was put really behind in the laning phase and due to multiple ganks. But now, well, I'm thinking that the likelihood of a 3AM victory is very high currently, unless a miracle teamfight happens.
That was a lot of damage onto Udyr, which might keep him temporarily out of the fight, but he's going to regen it up pretty soon. And we're going to find out that Omnix is not nearly as deadly or as tanky as he thinks, as he shows up in the middle of 5 different members. Bucksack not even participating in that kill. We're going to see a pause. It's, we'll call it a mental fortitude break.
Mental fortitude break. Lost your top laner, so you made it call a pause, but yeah. I'm not sure really what Leicha Chung can do now in a 4v5. Things are really desperate, and, well, it's 5 against 4. Unless they manage to get a miracle pick onto the Aphelios, then I just don't see them even stabilizing this game at the moment. I do think that 3AM will walk away with the victory in this one, and the pause is ending, so we're going back into it. And I'll leave the rest of the team fight up to you if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming that Leicha Chungkan can and will actually pull the trigger. 3AM go in, take the inhibitor with surgical precision, and now get themselves right back out because you've taken both of those. There's no reason to fight. You can reset, spend all of your gold right now. The gold lead having extended itself to the, 7k mark now, over that 5k that tells you have an advantage, still before the 10k that really ends the game.
I honestly think they could have ended it right there if they forced the issue. I think it was a 90% chance that they're able to get it. But I guess they just want to play it safe. You know, the victory is almost self-assured. You don't want to throw it away. You don't want to feel bad for the rest of the series if you do end up losing out on that one. But yeah, so far things just going well. So far for 3AM, they played the early game well. They played the mid game well, and the team fights all pretty much, most of them pretty much went in their favor. Oh.
It's an assassination attempt, but it's not going to work. TNT picks up the kill. The audacity of Corki Dorgi to go for that kill actually might be the thing that not only loses him his life, but loses his team the game, because if we look across the board, you really don't have that much other damage. Kindred putting up a little bit right now is not nearly going to be comparable to Aphelios and Azir, and we're going to see that as they chew through Jarvan's health bar. Sunny not long for the world now, as Skydudu goes on a killing spree. Kobe is hanging out under the tower as the rest of his team takes care of everyone else right now, and the CC is just too much, and you won't even lose a single one of your lives as 3AM. You have earned this clean victory right now as they walk themselves into the Nexus Towers, soon to be the Nexus right here. They look for the kill onto Corgi Dorgi, wanting to punish him for that aggression from earlier, but you don't even need it. You walk away with the first victory in the best of 5, and 3AM looks strong doing it.
What a game from 3AM, being able to cohesively as a team work together well. Despite the disadvantage they got in the mid lane, they were able to play around it. They were able to get their side lanes ahead. This Aphelios was super valuable in the team fights, and you know, everything just came together.
Yeah, they looked super clean in that game, and I feel like we didn't really give Leicha Chungkan the chance to, and neither did they. If you're coming out of this game 1, obviously you need the mental reset, but I feel like they tried to do that thing that we talked about where you cheese the best of one. You know, you try and get that small edge over your opponent. You've lost this now, and I want to see the return to standard play that is what has gotten you here.
Yeah, pretty much. I need to see Leisure Chung fix their drafts a bit. I need to see a more cohesive team coming out from them. Find a goal. If you're going to do a 1-3-1, stick to that. If you're going to do team fight, just stick to that. Find champions that you're comfortable on, and find a game plan to execute on. Be all on the same page, because otherwise you're just going to get ripped apart just like that.
Yeah, very clearly 3AM are comfortable with the way that they drafted to play the game, and the way that it was then taken from there only serves to demonstrate that. We'll find out whether Late Shot Chungkan can get back on their comfort and knock 3AM off theirs, or whether the siege will continue and 3AM will continue their reign of what looks, honestly, like in the first game, just dominance. There's only one way to find out, though, and that's to take us to a short break before we get back into the draft of Game 2. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Go!
Every day, wow, wow， 这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间，无比的耀眼。I know you want some more， 准备好就一起走 ，Give it need more。Now I got it, so here you go. You look like you could use some more. Now I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like boom boom, blow your mind. Never give up. Legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll rot into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to touch a dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. When the world is calling out your name, begging you to fight. Pick yourself up once more. Pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Rise. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions break, the one falls, steadily the end.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is game 2 time between Lecha Shunkan and 3am. 3am looking terrifying in game 1. My name's Dia. I am joined by Miles David on the cast. And Miles, I want to hear what you thought about game 1 and sort of recap for those of us who weren't here for that first game, how we're expecting game 2 to change.
Man, 3am were looking pretty clean with their game plan. They knew what to do. They knew what times they were strong. They were able to capitalize and knew what to do during team fights. And the fact is, I think they just had a more cohesive comp with a better goal in mind than what Lecha Chung tried to pull off, which was mostly counter picks. But no, they did have a few counter picks in lane and were able to capitalize on that, but they were not able to counter pick as a team. If you get my drift, their team comp was just not cohesive enough, and I think that was their downfall and what ripped them apart in game 1. So I want to see some better drafting out of them in this game 2 coming up.
Yeah, let's hope that they maybe get something a little bit more familiar to us, at least. I would like to see a very nice front to back, and that's mostly to prop up Corgi Dorgi, who I think is the star of this team. Didn't even look bad in game 1, looked really, really good, and was oftentimes the thing taking down Buckzak, the final sort of straw that broke the camel's back of Dive. And that kind of skill set is one that I want to see enabled for them so that Lecha Chungkan can walk away making this a competitive series. We should be getting into the draft relatively soon for both of these teams. And 3am, I think you can kind of run back exactly what we saw last game.
Yeah, if it works, then don't fix it. Just keep going what you're doing. It's a successful game plan. I've seen them pull it off in the semifinals, and now they're it's continuing to work in the finals, so just run with it. And as you said, I wouldn't say it was all lost for Lecha Chung, because they had a lot of flashes of brilliance where they almost got back into the game. They were able to get that dragon fight, get a successful tower dive off onto 3am. So it's not to say that that they got shut out by any means. They have the mechanical skill. They just need the right tools to be able to bring home a win.
Now, as much as we focus on draft, I think it's worth bringing up that Lecha Chungkan and 3am have swapped sides this time. Red side is something that we didn't see 3am lose on in the semifinals. They consistently made very good use of that counter pick and now have it available to them one more time. Lecha Chungkan are going to be on the blue side, where they're going to have first pick and a lot of priority in terms of where they choose to take this draft. Red is the one that's going to be able to respond, and we'll see whether 3am can do that. Seraphine, though, instantly picked up. The ban from last game, now gone. Lecha Chungkan, they want it themselves.
Yeah, the either ban unlocked the Seraphine, and Seraphine probably one of the... I agree with this first pick. It's very flexible. It can go in mid, it can go in bot lane, it can go in support. So you have different roles for it. Plus, it can go either damage or more support, depending on how you build her. So Seraphine, extremely good pickup. As a first pick, it still gives you a lot of flexibility in draft, and it's a powerful champion in its own right.
I am so disappointed, Miles. Lee Sin not banned away, and they lock in Hecarim. What's happening? I don't think that this is something that you want to give over to Kitsuo. We'll see if they prioritize it right now, but this could be that dangerous turning point in the game that I had alluded to earlier. Caitlyn priority being higher is something that is justified by 11.4, and it seems like Ezreal priority might be there to match it, as it is a decent lane into the Caitlyn.
Yeah, pretty much. Caitlyn got some nice buffs for herself, along with some really good AD scaling, so her late game is even more powerful now. And Ezreal did not have the best of times in the preseason. After the item rework, Triforce got nerfed, Manamune got nerfed, but now there's an interesting build for him where he goes for more of lethality, more of lethality.
Yes,
on the Ezreal. So
yes. We're gonna see Kitsuo's Lee Sin. I'm so excited, Miles. Oh my god. I've literally been waiting for this since we saw them play the first time. Since the groups where he didn't get to play Lee Sin and people were like, oh my god, where's this guy's Lee Sin at? He is insane at this champion. We'll see if he can pull out the clutch performance in these finals.
Well, if you don't know what to do, go back to comfort. And Lee Sin, we haven't seen much priority over the champion, but Lee Sin can still be a very strong playmaker, especially in the hands of a good jungler. The way he can get his lanes ahead and out duel in the early game will be extremely important on the side of Leicha Chung. So we'll see how we'll have to see how Kitsuo manages to do that. Basically, the early game will be on him to get his laners ahead, and I hope he's able to put on the show for us.
Yeah, let's find out. He's gonna have to put on some serious carry pants, lay it down for 3AM, who have locked in the Bard, and that's a pick that maybe was overshadowed by the Lee Sin, but is, I dare say, equally strange. You're very much relying on Buckzak to be able to just hang out in this lane, and it seems like a response to the Ezreal, but I am not sure how Bard is going to go. I haven't seen TNT's Bard. It's a 50-50 pick.
I mean, if you're getting Caitlyn and pretty much leaving her alone in the lane, if that's the plan, that's fine. Caitlyn's a very safe ADC. She has a way of escaping from any gang potential, and it's an Ezreal not really known for being a kill lane with any support. So I think it's an alright pick, especially if TNT wants to make more plays around the map. And we saw him do it on Thresh. Maybe he can really do it on this board too.
That's true. The roams really are going to be unlocked. Has a little bit less utility in his kit, but at the ability of now being able to spread that advantage, Gragas gets locked in, which is surprising because I expect this to be going top. Gragas, very, very much a top lane pick right now, as we will get the confirmation that Seraphine is going into mid. We're now going to have mid counter pick available for 3AM.
Yeah, pretty much. So we have the Raccoon pick, kind of a surprise for me. I'm not. I guess it would work well if they go with this Camille and just go for a dive comp, especially with this Lee Sin. Just go on to the backline, dive as much as possible. Meanwhile, Ezreal and Seraphine are just supporting, giving out DPS from the back, and looks like they may instead end up doing it with the Maokai, so it'll be kind of a tank fight in the top lane. Slap fight in the top lane if this indeed is Gragas versus Maokai.
Okay, now you look at that Maokai pick, and I assume it is Gragas versus Maokai. You look at the Maokai pick and you go, I don't know, man. Camille's really strong, but I like it, and here's why. Leicha Chungkan have drafted themselves a cohesive team composition, something that it didn't seem like they really had on lock in Game 1. Now Game 2, they pivot into the Maokai and away from the Camille, and as strange as it does seem, I think it fits them better.
Yeah. Honestly, Maokai can be extremely frontline for protecting that Ezreal and Seraphine. Ezreal's new build with the Dustblade and the Ravenous Hydra can do a surprising amount of damage, especially since there's only like one tank on the side. There's only one tank on the side of on side of 3AM, which is Kobe on that Gragas. So I think there's a more cohesive identity within Leicha Chung. So I'm excited to see how they'll be able to pull this off. 11.4 is here, of course. The jungle changes have taken effect, so Lee Sin may be able to be a lot more effective than he has been in the past year.
Yeah, and on the other side of that, TCT's effectiveness on the Hecarim is going to be stifled a little bit. Hecarim, very, very much a jungler that likes to power from, that likes to get those levels, get those items, and then take it to you. This time is going to be denied that opportunity, or at least so easily. It's going to be a lot more off the back of TCT engaging himself in his lanes, and honestly, pairing up with TNT once again. The dynamic duo that took over Game 1 now has the opportunity to do so in Game 2 on champions that are still very, very fast. They can still move around the map very, very quickly and take over the game, but it is all about this jungle support duo if you are 3AM, and a lot is on the back of Kitsuo to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and speaking of the support duo, Olivia and Lee Sin can kind of pull off the same things. They can pull off tower dive really well, juggling tower aggro between them, and getting in there in really either in the mid or possibly in the mid or in the bot lane. So I want to see them pull off those kinds of dives as much as possible. But 3AM, they went back. They continue to run with their fundamentals. They have a very solid team fight comp there that has good scaling. In the Victor and Caitlyn is very traditional. You can't really go wrong with it. So if they win, it'll be off the back on team fights in the late game, along with the fights that will definitely happen in Dragon Pit. We'll have to see how well they can fight front to back and still be able to catch the Seraphine and Ezreal. Otherwise, they will actually get out sustained, if a fight goes on for too long.
Yeah, and the scaling, like you mentioned, is really there for 3 a.m. The sustain, like you say, is there for Late Shot Chung, but scaling is what I'm looking at right now because Late Shot Chung Con, they had the onus of making things happen in the early game last time, and they couldn't make it happen. This time, you got a lot more comfort on Lee Sin. Can Kitsuo step up and make this early game explosive to carry his team to a game 2 victory, or will 3 a.m. take this one in as convincing a fashion as they did game 1? There's only one way to find out, and that, my friend, is to throw it to a very quick break before we get onto the Rift for game 2 of the finals here at SFU's Raccoon Cup. Late Shot Chungkon versus 3 a.m. Six, 7, 8, 9. Welcome back, folks. We have hit the Rift finally. Late Shot Chungkon versus 3 a.m. is here, and it is here to stay. Kitsuo, that magnificent Lee Sin, finally being able to wander out, get a little bit of vision down, as it's still a very passive start. Both junglers are going to meet up. TCT and Kitsuo eyeing each other across the river right now are going to be, I expect, happy just to have a little bit of a dance party, but no real kill threat from either team, much like in Game 1.
Yeah, but looks like the bot lane is starting to get aggressive with Invade Bard having a pretty good level 1. He can slow, he can use his Q, but so far he just wants to ward up, see where this Lee Sin is going to go. I would expect Lee Sin to start red side, path towards and get this red buff there before passing up and trying to get the solo grab for himself. But maybe Kitsuo will want to get a cheese gank off. Well, it could happen. It's wide open. Lee Sin is more of a supportive style ganker rather than a carry threat by himself by power farming. So it's going to be exciting to see. We haven't seen this playstyle in a while.
No, really not, and it's going to be highlighted, especially, we expect, on 11.4, so let's see if he can do it. Right now, no real deep vision to spot him out, just that single red ward placed by TNT. To try and find any data on the junglers is likely going to be avoided by Kitsuo, and he's going to have the run of the mill, as we're going to hang out in this mid lane for a little while. I don't expect any early action from any of these lanes, really.
Yeah, true. I don't expect any early action unless Lee Sin dictates that there should be early action somewhere around the map. And I don't really expect much in the top lane, but in the mid lane and bot lane is where I expect everything to go. Those dragons will definitely be important for both teams. And, Lee Sin, he'll probably be wanting to target those sides because Victor is a much riskier target than Gragas. And, you want to get your bot lane ahead. Getting Ezreal ahead will be extremely strong, especially with the poke that he can bring out later in the game.
Very much so. We'll see if he can play around that bot lane. It seems like top might be the focus, though, as Kitsuo has opted not to clear the Krugs, instead going right into his blue at the moment. Does have the opportunity to go top lane a little bit earlier than one might expect, and Sunny's got a lot of lockup to support him. We'll see if he opts into it. Right now, TCT on the other side of that is getting his full clear on.
Yeah, pretty much so. We haven't talked about this hacker much in draft, but he's kind of a budget Udyr, let's say. He can still zoom around the map really fast, and he can still be effective in team fights, but he doesn't really have the inevitability that Udyr seems to have in the early mid game. He can still be stopped, and he has less sticking power, let's say, than an Udyr, who can just keep stunning and running and stunning and running. And Hecarim, I still think he's effective, but
oh my god. Sunny roots the wrong thing. Kobe, quite low right now, should be able to pick up a kill here. Flash away from Sunny is going to mean that Kobe still goes down to Kitsuo at the end. First blood goes over to the Lee Sin, and it might have been a little bit of a botched play, but Leicha Chung still walk out with 400 gold, so who's to say?
Yeah, so great play, great gank by Lee Sin, and Gragas not respecting the fact that Lee Sin probably not used to the fact that they could get ganked that early by ganking junglers because of all the carry junglers that are being played right now. But Hecarim able to at least full clear, and Lee Sin getting that skull trap. So yeah, maybe he can set up a camp there. Actually, we'll have to see. But it looks like he'll focus on getting skull trap for himself, getting some map control. Which is very important in the early game.
Yeah, he was definitely thinking about going in for that gank, but like you say, it's going to clear out the Scuttle Crab. They've got a little bit of deep vision to spot out whether TCT actually goes topside, and with that information, we will see an invade, maybe even another gank towards this top side, as that looks like exactly what's going to happen. Sunny expends his cooldowns, and now Kitsuo going to show up in the lane. You can see it right here on your screens in HD. Kabi has got no summoners, and Skydude is going to have to use his to try and keep his top laner alive. The gravity well gets dropped, finds the stun onto Kitsuo, but Omnix is here as well, picks up the kill on the top laner, and gets a little bit more damage on down to Skydude as well. Nicely played once again from Leicha Chung, making things happen in the early game. 3 a.m. looking to do the same thing. Corgi Dorgi gets right out of there with the flash, with the arcane shift, and just easy as you like, the battle dance takes Olivia High out as well. Stuffed is that play by Leicha Chung.
Oh, very good stuff coming from Leicha Chung in this early game. Kind of an opposite of what happened. Now they're the ones dictating the pace in the bot lane. Able to get away from that gank was huge. So basically, those two kills on top lane were traded for nothing. Omnix able to get something there with get the kill will also gives this Seraphine some more acceleration. Now she has the Vandal Glass, and once she gets that Moonstone, she's gonna be healing so much in the next skirmishes and team fights that happen around the map.
That Moonstone really leans into what you brought up earlier. The sustain is so massive for Leicha Chung, and they can keep these fights going for a very long time. Oh my lord, Akabi, you just don't get to play League of Legends today. I'm so sorry, man. Still doesn't have the flash up, and hey, Sonic Kick will go wide, which actually buys him time, but it doesn't quite buy him his life here, as Kitsuo's got plenty of time to walk this one down, because remember, it's a lot more worth it to be farming these champions than it is the jungle.
Yeah, pretty much the less jungle EXP right now means that Lee Sin is pretty much free, and he's abusing the fact that he's abusing the fact that Gragas doesn't have his splash, and why not? If you can just get advantage just through V2s in the top, 2v1s in the top lane, you just keep going for it again and again. But bot lane play is gonna be happening. That's the response Hecarim has. We'll see if Ezreal gets away.
We have such deja vu right now. Olivia High gets the grand entrance and the battle dance out one more time, but it's not like they're losing nothing right now. Bucksack playing aggressively as Skydudu roams down, drops the Chaos Storm as Corgi Dorgi almost manages to find a kill on the backside, but doesn't, and it is a double kill in the end that goes over, but Kitsuo just straight up goes in. He's looking for Bucksack and doesn't find the final auto, but then flashes in for the double kill, picked up at the end by Omnix. That encore is huge, and it turns into a massive fight for Leicha Chung off the back of what they were losing.
Oh my gosh, this Lee Sin is putting on a show, and Omnix showing up just in time for that huge play, the encore. So massive, getting creepy. You think so?
Do you see the 5-kill Lee Sin at 7 minutes into the game? It's a 2k gold lead that, as I toggle the gold here, 1 second. Let me toggle the gold. Okay, half of that gold lead is on Lee Sin. A little bit more than half of that gold lead is on Lee Sin right now. It is so scary for you for the next couple minutes as 3 a.m. But as much as I joke, game's not over, right? Because we still got scaling options.
Yeah, pretty much. And already lane swap happened. I guess that Gragas doesn't want to deal with Lee Sin on the weak side anymore. But
oh no! Kitsuo is here. He's got the kick and he's got the Q to follow it up. Top lane is not super happy right now. Sunny, very nice grasping roots, will get him to safety for just a little while. It doesn't last though, as TCT will pick up his first kill of the game, get himself on the board, but it is just a little bit of equalization. Right now is 6 kills is Kitsuo.
Yeah, Kitsuo showing putting on a masterclass of old school jungling here with the Lee Sin, ganking top lane, being able to affect put that Gragas so far behind, and now getting kill over to Caitlyn, and that lead that Caitlyn accrued in the bot lane is starting to dwindle because Ezreal was just safe to free farm again and again. Oh my gosh.
You can't even realistically fight this right now. TNT is trying to find this done as TCT is trying to get away with his life, but I'm not sure that either of those things are going to work out. TCT goes quite low. Omnix can't quite finish him off, though, with the final auto. Doesn't actually find it, but Zach is all alone in the Rift Herald pick, and that, at the very least, is going to be a kill donated right back to Kitsuo, you expect, but the shutdown with the final auto giving over the kill goes wrong, and we do get a trade back as Olivia High is the one to clean up Caitlyn. Finally, Sky Doo will go down as Omnix goes on a killing spree, so at least we're getting a kill somewhere, but that was...
Oh! Snipe right there.
F's in the chat.
Man, feels bad, man, for Gragas.
I want to see the F's in the chat. I will accept nothing less.
Alright, so Lee Sin did give over a shutdown to Caitlyn, so that's not going to feel very good, but at least he's able to complete... Him and Seraphine able to complete their mythic items already, and Ezreal getting killed for himself in the bot lane is pretty big. Kobe not having the best game right now, honestly, with the way things are going.
No, he's not really having a whole lot of fun, and power-ups to Kitsuo for making that happen. We talked about in Game 1 how you might have planned to play around topside. I think this is exactly how you imagined that going.
Yep, pretty much, and I didn't expect him to play topside. I thought it was going to be more of a slap fight, but, you know, Kitsuo there proving me wrong with his gank, very effective ganks in the top lane. So, Kobe getting Dyrus a bit, and the fact that they kind of have a gaping hole in that top lane right now, Gragas is not as strong as he should be, means that he can just keep exploiting it again and again, even though the bottom center is complete. Oh!
I think this is just a dead victor right now. The execution is too clean.
God. Kitsuo! This is just a masterclass. This Lee Sin is going ham and going completely crazy, and it's not done.
He's going to take down TCT right now. Olivia High is maybe caught a little bit out of position, but it doesn't even matter. And we haven't even seen Omnix be involved with Kitsuo yet. Right now, roaming down, maybe trying to get involved in the team fight. More likely to be involved in the Dragon. Now, Corgi Dorgi is just going to get assassinated, though. Buckzak plays it cheeky and plays it well, but it's not quite enough as Kitsuo will go on a killing spree, shutting that one down right before it starts. TNT is very low on the tower. Kitsuo should be able to pick up that one as well. A double kill brings this Lee Sin to 10 kills at 11 minutes.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. Kitsuo is just... He's just massive. He's making plays all around the map in bot lane, in top lane, and now this dragon should belong to Lei Chung. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that, but there's some revenge here in the top lane, a trade at least going down. Hopefully, if Maokai can survive, that would be huge, but I don't think he will.
Still has flash. Oh, invested a little bit late, but still.
Oh my gosh.
Out in the end. That is tragic. 3 members committed, a dragon lost, and 3 a.m. find nothing but a flash.
Oh man, Dia, I have no idea what to say. It's so beautiful to see Lee Sin play like this again. I've kind of missed it, seeing Lee Sin go off like this. I haven't seen it in so long, and it's good to see it in Kitsuo's hand. He is hard carrying this game right now.
Yeah, this reminds me of that kill a minute Peanut game that happened with, I think, like 2 years ago, where he was also playing Lee Sin, because this guy's looking real unstoppable right now. I'll tell you what, though, say goodbye, because no matter what happens this game, it's not getting through in Game 3.
Yeah, pretty much, honestly. Even if they lose this one, even if they lose the front-to-back team fight in the future, then I still don't think I don't think you should leave this up. This Lee Sin is too strong in the hands of Kitsuo. I think you should just ban that away, give him something else to work with, and take your losses. Take the L for the Lee Sin, and just go with another pick.
Yeah, and that's that adaptation that we were talking about. Clearly, Lei Cha-Chung have picks that need to be adapted to, that force the respect right now, and I'm glad we get to see them in Game 2. We're going to see yet another dive bot, though, as it's not like this has been going all well. Corgi's been constantly under threat, and TCT is the one that needs to get out right now, but we've got a very strong side bot for 3 a.m. Bucksack has been playing forward the entire game, is up 10 CS, has several turret plates in his pocket. Same can be said for top lane, but we're trading. It's a yin-yang of a game.
Yeah, pretty much, but I still think that, obviously, Lei Cha-Chung is the ones coming out on top of the trades here. They're throwing so much onto the bot lane, but they're not really getting that much out of it, besides maybe more farm on the Caitlyn lane, even though it's not too much, and they're not giving up on it. Maybe they're able to get still this time.
Forced to heal right now, doesn't actually die to the burst from TCT, and it is the spot lane escaping with their lives again. If you get kills every single time, suddenly this game is like, oh my god, it's so even. The fact that they're not getting kills right here is massive.
Yeah, but they were able to get the first turret, so that's a bit of a gold influx back towards 3 a.m. But yeah, things still not going too well.
He's got the encore, doesn't find him, but hey, the grand entrance will do the rest. Meanwhile, Kitsuo is dueling with Skydoodoo, and Skydoodoo is straight up not having a good time.
They just do not have the armor to deal with the lethality Lee Sin at this point. It looks like he's going all in on the assassination. Kitsuo snowballing to high heavens. The only question whether we'll be... Oh no. Got the Q off the case.
Bucksack is dead. Bucksack is dead. Flash forward, finishes him off. Lee Sin still doesn't die to the tower, even as we cut away. That's that sustain you were talking about. Omnix providing an incredible amount of shielding right there. And top lane, it might not look as one-sided as the game is right now, but the fact that we have a Maokai and Gragas going even with each other and Kabi going 0-4 is still a testament to how Kabi is able to play this game.
Yeah, pretty much. Kabi still being able to move around, but this Maokai pretty much not dying all the time. The fact that he's able to get away from a lot of these gangs. Will he get away from this one?
Does he live here?
No, he does
No,
not.
okay.
It would have been a crime if he lived there, honestly.
Yeah, TNT gets the kill. It's not ideal, but it's something. You found a pick on the map right now, and that small gold injection can keep you in the game, because right now, Lei Cha-Chung, they want to accelerate the pace of the game. They want to be getting these kills, taking these scraps. 3 a.m., not so much.
Yeah, pretty much. They want to scale a bit more when Victor gets the stronger items. Doesn't even have his mythic item completed yet. Hecarim does, but he's still not going to survive full combo from the Lee Sin because he has no armor available. And Lee Sin already on 2 items compared to everyone else. This Lee Sin is very fed.
He is, and is going to need to keep it that way right now. Doesn't have a whole lot of mobility to get out of the jungle. Nice save from Olivia Hyacinth. Might keep Kitsuo safe for now. The Tempered Fate is going to buy a lot of time as TCT goes quite low. Sunny ends up taking the kill right now. Kitsuo flashes away, and it leaves Sunny and Olivia Hyacinth with everybody else. But Sunny is more than tanky enough to take this one up. The sustain really, truly is there, and he is cutting through the members while not being taken down himself. Finally goes down, but it means that the trade kill is back over to Kitsuo, finishing off Kabi in the meantime. Omnix might have overstepped his bounds. It almost goes down to Bucksack, but flashes away just in time. You don't want to step too far forward, my friend, but he does find the kill. And the resonating strike not going to follow him back over. Bucksack doesn't find the second one. It's a pretty spooky spot to be in as 3 a.m. right now, but they're playing it rather well. They certainly, as we've mentioned, have the scaling right now, and hey, if TCT can solo out Corgi Dorgi, why not do it? Unfortunately, the skill shot goes wide, what might have turned the fight, and TCT will end up picking up a kill, and with gold still within touching distance, still within that 5k margin, it's not the end of the world right now, although it is fast approaching with the second Drake going over to Lei Cha-Chung right now. What concerns me is the lack of towers taken. It's really only the single tower in the top lane that has been taken for Lei Cha-Chung, and as much as it seems like they're in charge of this game, the objectives are what's going to win it for them, and they don't have them right now, and they're not going to have Kitsuo for much longer either. A great pick set up and executed by TNT will find that several hundred gold going into the pocket of Bucksack, of all people. We're going to shove in the mid lane right here as Skydoodoo and Bucksack without Kitsuo on the table are nigh on untouchable. Olivia Highsip, though, is looking for it, gets the grand entrance, and Encore is not going to do you any favors as Bucksack now left very much alone as the victor. DPS needs to survive, needs to be able to clear these waves, and will manage to do so. Nicely executed pick.
Hello there. Am I back?
You're back.
I think it's back. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. They need to solo cast for a bit, but Discord's been kind of screwing with me. I turned off my webcam, so hopefully that will fix things. And back as I sustained, there were a lot of things that happened. They were able to get the dragon, and I talked about the sustain that Lei Chung had in the team fights, and we saw it firsthand during that last one in the jungle. And you know, the ability for Seraphine to just shield her teammates and give her healing, especially with the Moonstone and the Sap of Flowing Water, which has completed, is so huge. They're able to just fight for so much longer.
Kitsuo is 1v5ing one more time. We've seen this go wrong before, although it almost goes very, very right if we take a look at the very low health bars on the side of 3AM. It's at least denying them a lot of wave clear and might be denying them a turret as well. Finally, second turret does get taken right now as on the side, Sunny goes aggressive, finally takes down Skydoodoo, and under the tower, Kabi goes down, and it might be a second turret to follow this one up at long last. It feels like Lei Chung are unlocking themselves the map.
Yeah, pretty much. So Lei Chung are feeling themselves right now. We thought they're showing the mental fortitude right now, being able to play this game after getting destroyed in game 1. But the fact they're able to just come back, play this game, Kitsuo, especially on this Lee Sin, on the comfort champion, carrying the early game and allowing his team the breathing room needed, meant that they're firmly in the lead. They're firmly in the driver's seat right now. It'd be up to them to throw this game, maybe a botched fight, or Kitsuo trying to 1v5 and failing again. But so far, things are looking really good for Lei Chung.
They really are, but as we crest the 20-minute mark, I do find myself a little bit concerned with the state of the gold lead. We're about, let's call it 5k to the good as Lei Chung Kan, and if we take a look at the actual gap, 4k of that is just on Kitsuo. It's the difference between him and TCT. Everyone else is scaling up pretty well. The gold is very, very even in all of these roles. If Kitsuo is the one holding your gold lead, around 20 to 30 minutes is where he starts to fall off. So you've got to make the most of this. And the most of this looks to be Baron right now.
Yeah, but the thing is that despite fact most of the gold lead is on Kitsuo, the carries of the AM do not have any armor on them. So Kitsuo will still be doing tons of damage if they assassinate them in the turn.
Tempered Fight finds Sunny, which is not quite enough. Encore connects with 2, which once again is very, very good for Lei Chung. There's plenty of damage, like you say, that can't really be answered, and Bucksack is not going to have a good time going up against Kitsuo 1v1. It's not a 1v1 anymore, though. Finally goes on a killing spree with that last Sonic kick. So close in the 1v1, but unfortunately, like we say, that is not to be it. Lei Chung are taking no chances around this Lee Sin, who they need to survive right now, and they do find themselves a team fight win, maybe even the Baron.
Yeah, they do. I don't think they'll be able. The 3AM will be able to contest it. Hecarim is down, and they should have enough damage for this. 2 people are soloing it right now. I think they should be able to get it in time as they pressure mid lane. I do think they should take this as fast as possible to deny the steal because Hecarim's on his way. It's so the rest of the team.
Trying to start a little bit of a fight right now. Skydoodoo doesn't exactly have the damage to chew through these two right now. But with Kitsuo joining, it's going to get a lot more explosive than this. Bucksack isn't quite here yet, and Kabi could go down in that time. The trap doesn't quite find anyone. Sunny in the front line is exactly where he wants to be. Takes a boatload of damage, but still the sustain is immaculate. People are basically untouched right now, and Corgi Dorgi going forward, finishes off the assassination onto Bucksack, finds himself a double kill, and Kitsuo is left to do exactly what he does best, which is to murder the members of 3AM. Finds the ace, cleans it up, and Lei Chung Kan can now crack the base with their newly found Baron.
It might be over. They could end the game, I think, with the way things are going. The Death Hammers are a bit on the short side. They may not be able to after, I see it, but they could just go for it, honestly. They could just dive in, try to take it right now. Try to take the game right now.
If Kabi dies here, it's definitely the end of the game. They don't find the Sonic kick onto him, though, and it will be the retreat from Lei Chung Kan. They've rocketed themselves forward in that brief time. We talked about 7k being on Lee Sin, we're now hitting that deadly 10k mark, and as soon as Late Shot Chung Kan spend this, there's really no way that we see 3 a.m. come back into this game. Kitsuo starts up the dragon. This will put them on Soul Point, and they're looking good.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Nature Champ in the lead. They have Raccoon in the base. I expect them to close this out soon with the siege ability from the Baron minions. Honestly, even without the Baron, they could easily siege with the Seraphine right behind them. She's pretty much super huge right now, and they're able to get the red buff for Ezreal, I believe. So, Seraphine, she's 4-0-15 right now. She has not died a single time, and I think we're talking so much about Kitsuo's Lee Sin, but this Seraphine has been so essential whenever the team fights happen. The sustain that she's able to give is able to just allow Lei Chung to fight these fights without dying. You know, they're able to output enough damage. Ezreal not really thought of as a sustained damage dealer. He's able to deal so much damage because he can just get healed by the Seraphine.
Yeah, has been able to position very aggressively on the Ezreal, has Corgi Dorgi, and still doing the job that we talked about last game on the Kaisa. This time playing Assassin into Bucksack, who really can't do anything. This cheese is the way that you find your way back into this game. If you can get a pick, especially onto Kitsuo, this could be, I want to say game-changing, but it'll help them survive. Omnix, though, could be served his first death. The sustain, though, is just too much. Kitsuo goes unstoppable, an explosion of damage, and Bucksack is just trying to survive on the backside. Kitsuo does finally go down, but it is two, like it almost 3 kills traded as Kabi goes aggressive one more time. Is going to be caught in his own jungle there, but outside of his base, unfortunately, and with 3 kills down, only Bucksack and TNT remaining, this should be the end of the game. Late Shot Chung Kan may have just found their way into this series. The Lee Sin pick looks incredible, and the rest of the team, honestly, on their comfort pick, looks incredible around it. Now, it's just up to dotting the I's, crossing the T's, taking the Nexus, and moving us to a Game 3.
Yeah, I cannot believe that Seraphine survived getting charged on by 5 people like that. She was able to make insane. It out. So 5-0-6, an immaculate performance by Lei Cha-Chung. They've had their game plan. Put Katsuo, you know, sometimes you have a player who's more than capable of carrying the game, and sometimes the game plan, forget about team comp, forget about everything. Put that man on a carry and he will deliver, and he did just that on the Lee Sin. What an immaculate performance by him, along with the support from the rest of his team, and it won them the game.
Yeah, that looked like an untouchable Lee Sin. I know we saw him touched once, as he did end up going down to 5 members, but it is not something that is sustainable to have on repeat as somebody like 3 a.m. as a team that needs to be investing all of these resources and propping up their own carries. Shutting down Kitsuo was just proving to be too much, and you add on top of that people like Omnix, people like Corgi Dorgi, who were going insane in the meantime. Clearly, Late Shot Chung Kan show us that they have the carry force in this second game to take this to a series. We'll find out if they can continue to push that, though, because 3 a.m. didn't look weak either.
Yeah, in fact, they tried to trade objectives across the map. They were just kind of unsuccessful with the bot lane ganks because of how well Corgi and Olivia were able to play that bot lane, staying safe, not dying pretty much anytime whenever Hector M showed out there to gank them repeatedly. So props on them, but you know, they're still a big threat. They're still they were still. I think they were a few plays away from getting back into this game. It just didn't work out because of the lack of resources they had. But they're still very much a capable team, especially with the team fight comp. So I'm excited to see what adaptations they'll have in the draft to deal with this.
Yeah, very clearly strong. I think you're right. I want to see their brains really work as we go into the next game, because this is something that we haven't seen from them in the past couple games. Needing to adapt in semifinals wasn't really a thing, and certainly in finals right now is the first time that I see them being challenged by Lei Cha-Chung again, much like they were in group stages. It feels like we're going backwards in a way, but the level of gameplay is so much higher. We'll find out whether they can adapt as we do get into the third game in just a few minutes. We'll be right back with Game 3 of Lei Cha-Chung Kan versus 3 a.m.
Moving too fast, life is moving in slow-mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. Homie, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire, and burst. Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but it's in my time. Better look in my eyes. I'm a genius in the skies with my heart on my sleeve. You force you a block to a king in his prime. Everybody got a line. Sit back with the stars in line. I finesse like my life on the nine. Was a diamond in the rough, and now I shine.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants. Yeah. Shutting it down. Been in the ground and my people all up in this place. Spinning this thing. Go to my rank. Royalty up in my veins. I'm loco, think I'm so cold. I say something, ain't no going back. Now they ask where Kiki's at. I'm like, you can't hang with that. 쏟아져 빛이 멀게 된 눈이 멈추지 않아. Once we go, 내게 더운 낼로 모든 배워 빨리 달려. 넌 못 따라와. True damage we do it. True damage 보여줄게. 뭐든 쉽게. 이기든 지든 my crew make the beat. No one could stop us. They'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. It's not the way we're waiting, but we're coming right back. This time you're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
I keep on shattering time. I might just leave you behind. Homie, you stuck on rewind. You should quit sleeping on mine. You got your back on reclined. When I damage your delicate spine, please don't act out, shy and surprised. They be like, what you mean? What is your winning scheme? I got a giant team. Biggest my self-esteem. Run it back, running man. They think they go hard, I'm like, come again. You run at a time and I'm busting in. While you stumbling, I got this blade in my hand for your punishment.
We're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. It's not the way we're waiting, but we're coming right back. This time you're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
If you're gonna talk that talk, then you better walk that walk. If you're gonna talk that talk, then you better walk that walk. Lot of wannabes, only one of me. They try to put me under pressure, put me under siege. Yeah, I'm a champ, I'm a legend, I'm a beast. Used to be the underdog, I got off the leash. I'm done barking, I only bite. Drop the roof for the night like it's only right. Hold it tight, both hands on the holy grail. Come and get it when you fail, you can hold the L. If you're gonna talk that talk, then you better know how to walk that walk. Tell the arc, let's run it. Everybody gunning for the top, let's run it. Go ahead, show me what you got, run it. This is where the shooters get shot down. This is where the hunters get hunted. Yeah, let's run it. Everybody gunning for the top, let's run it. Go ahead, show me what you got, run it. This is where the thrones getting overthrown. This is where the hunters get hunted. Yeah, let's run it. Yeah, I'm ready, let's run it. If you ready, let's run it. You know I run the game. I catch you running your mouth and then you run away. I bet you see me when I'm winning, you got nothing to say. I bet a bag on it, that's a big bet, it's like 100K. Yeah, double or nothing, I know he bluffing. If he yapping, I'ma hush him, it's no discussion. Show him that I really do it and he really doesn't. If you really want it, then it's time to run it. If you're gonna talk that talk, then you better know how to walk that walk. Tell the arc, let's run it. Everybody gunning for the top, let's run it. Go ahead, show me what you got.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. This is going to be going into Game 3 of 3 a.m. versus Late Shot Chung versus, there we go, 3 a.m. I did that. I don't know what happened. I keep saying 3 a.m. thinking it's the time. Miles, I'm crazy. I'm Dia, you're Miles. We're fine. Game 2 was so chaotic that at this point, I feel like I didn't think about it, but I must have rubbed off on me in some way.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a hard carry performance from Kitsuo on the Lee Sin, and I think 3M may want to get rid of that and stop that from happening in the future of the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see that, Lee Sin, and we can all, as audience, understand. We're not seeing that again. It was beautiful. I loved it, and unfortunately, we will never see it again in this best of 5 because you do not take that bet into somebody who can play Lee Sin so proficiently, who can take you down, and a team that very clearly feels comfortable playing around it. You were actually talking a little bit about the play styles of these teams that Lee Sin sort of leaned into.
Yeah, I really think that this best of 5 series is kind of a clash between styles, where I think that Lei Chung tries to give their carry space to be able to do damage and carry the game. Meanwhile, on the side of 3AM, they want to be team fighting as a unit. They want to have traditional comps with the tank, with the front line, and fight front to back, work together, and 5v5. And I think that's the biggest difference between the two in terms of the way they play the game. And, it's super exciting to see that kind of thing happen.
It actually throws me back just a little bit. I have this theory in my brain of ways of peeling for your AD carry. There are 2 ways that you can peel for your AD carry. You can peel for your AD carry by, if somebody's coming at you, making sure they need to stop. And then there is peeling for your AD carry by creating so much chaos that needs to be addressed that nobody has time to go after your AD carry. And it feels like that's how Lei Chung, like you say, want to play the game. 3 a.m. totally different. They're the opposite end of that. And I like the point that you bring up because it's something that hadn't really stood out to me in game 1. We just saw Kaisa. I thought this is what Kaisa is supposed to do. But if you look at Ezreal in game 2, how Corgi Dorky wants to play the game, I think that is the most illustration of that you'll ever get.
Yeah, he was not the Ezreal to stand back, deal damage by shooting arcane shots at the enemy team. No, he was there in the back line, killing the carries by himself.
Yeah.
While all the chaos was happening in the front line. So if that's the kind of player that Corgi is, you see what kind of style that Lei Chung wants to lean over. And you know about the third way of protecting your ADC? You know about that?
No, tell me.
Killing the enemy team.
That's true. Death is the greatest CC. If you CC all of them, they can't touch your AD carry.
Yeah, I think Kitsuo partly did that in the last game, and so pretty much that's what I want. That's the kind of thing we're seeing today, and it's kind of a treat to see. I have not seen a Lee Sin pop off like that in competitive in so long, not even in solo queue. So it's something I'm really happy to see here in this grand final, and in the grand final of all places it happens. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, now knowing that Lee Sin isn't going to hit the Rift one more time, there are still other picks that have been banned away. I want to give the audience hope right now because 3 a.m. have been banning away things like Rengar and things like Kha'Zix. And if we're not going to get a Lee Sin with 11 kills, we could get one of those with 11 kills because I don't see... I'm going to start calling them LCCC. I don't see LCCC not leaning into that chaotic style. I don't see them reverting to the weird cheese front to back that they had in game 1. I still, after the game 2 victory, see almost a similar way of approaching it as 3 a.m. had in the second game, going, it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's see what 3 a.m. can pull out against this because you've still got room to play with. It's still a best of 5. We're 1-1 right now. Somebody's got to win at least 2 more games. So if 3 a.m. can't adapt in the next game, you've got you're 1 win away. And if they can, you've still got plenty of time to correct.
Yeah, and this is the turning point because 3 a.m. so far in the semifinals, at least, did not see them challenged with the style of drafting that they pulled out, which is just front to back team fighting. They kind of lean into that style It works for them, and now it didn't work against the team against the firepower, let's say, of Lei Chung. So what can they do to adapt? What will they do? Do they have other tricks up their sleeve? Is the question, and I'm excited to see if they do. And if they don't, I want to see them be able to play those lanes better, not let Kitsuo get that big of an advantage over them again, because I think they were kind of caught off guard.
Yeah, they certainly were. Nobody really expects a Lee Sin to just have 11 kills and be able to run over you. The other thing that is going to be big for 3AM is the fact that LCCC got their hands on Seraphine last game, and it was because they were on blue side. Now we've swapped one more time. 3AM is on blue side. And if they end up getting the Seraphine, I think things go really differently. They've shown us that they can play with that. And of course, as everybody knows, Seraphine is insane right now. So if you do get your hands on that pick, I do think that the game goes really, really differently. You've got so much inbuilt sustain, CC, damage in that champion that the difference between Skydoodoo having it and Omnix having it is quite possibly the difference between winning and losing a game.
Yeah, that's interesting. Seraphine, as we said earlier in the pregame, really going to be important in this big bang because she just activates so many champions. You know, she allows champions to run amok when they're on her side and allows them to make crazy plays that they otherwise wouldn't be able to make without dying due to the sustain she gives and the CCs that she can output towards the enemy team. So, the priority on Seraphine will definitely be important. I don't think whichever team gets Seraphine will win automatically, but it's a very big advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be really big, and it's something that I think you either have to ban now as Lei Chung, or you have to first pick as 3AM. This isn't something that's really going to get through to second phase, because the cheese that has worked out in the past, or rather hasn't worked out in the past for Lei Chung, I think is going to disincentivize them from saying, well, we have an answer to Seraphine that's just a little bit outside of the box. You want to save that until you're at least one victory ahead to be able to try those experimentations. 3AM, they also don't feel like the team to really step outside of what is known. The way they've been playing is very, very traditional.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know, it's the basic building blocks if you're making a team come. Team fighting is pretty much the beginner thing to do, and you know, despite that, it's effective. It got them this far, and so far it's been working for them. Just didn't work out completely in the last game. So, what will they do to that? Do they have other comps on their side? Do they have a 1-3-1 comp, a split push comp that they're able to put pressure on? Do they have maybe a protect the ADC comp for Buckzak, because we know how well he can play fighting front to back, and maybe he's the key to winning this series for them.
They do have Kabe, so 1-3-1 is certainly an option available to them. I'd like to see him be picked up on something other than Gragas and Malphite. If this guy gets Camille,
That's true. So, playing towards top is something we didn't see earlier in the semifinals, but now maybe the teams will want to do it after Kitsuo just stomped Kobe into the ground there during the laning phase.
Yeah,
with that Gragas pick. And you know, if a team gets Darius, that's such a big hole, such a big deficit to come back from, and you know, things just snowball from there. Rift Herald, of course, is in the top lane. That gets picked up immediately. Gold gets funneled into the carries, and just things keep going wrong from there. The dragons, although are important, you know, you can let the first two go in favor of the Rift Heralds in order to funnel more gold into your team. So that's that can be a way to play the game for either side.
Yeah, I want to see 3AM try and lean into it, because I think that's where you have a win condition that Lei Chung really don't. Sunny has been good, but hasn't been carrying, and I feel like Kabi has shown us that he can carry. If you want to play a game in a way that you don't feel like LCCC have an answer to, I think that's the way to do it. We are having a few technical issues with the teams, just making sure that everybody is set up and ready to go. So we're going to take a very quick technical intermission after we've set up the preview for Game 3. So beautiful. Me and Miles will be right back to guide you through the draft in just a few minutes.
KDA, should we show them how we do it every day? Let's get it. Kali that girl, Kali go girl, Kali don't stop, Kali don't skirt, Kali got a job, Kali go to work. 뜨거워 언제나 don't get burned. 넘쳐 흘러물 된 a buffet, 죽여주잖아 like a buffet. 누가 감히 on my outfit, 그 문 열지 마 that's a rough day. I'm giving you more cause I'm greater than. 필요 없는 시험들 다 뿐이미. But all of my numbers are talking back. 부루마법 메시지 monopoly. 눈종이 돈이나 real money 필요 없대. 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it, go get it, go get it. 더 미션 눈을 못대 못해 그래 너도 get it cause I got it different. All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep down. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up in a way. You know I got it like bum bum, blow your mind. Never giving less, and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. When I go, it's for gold. Get it cool, but I'm cold. I don't fit in a mold. I'm a rebel. I don't do what you say. Making moves, I don't wait while I smile in your face. I got different DNA. What's higher than the top? That's me. Come take a look before falling at my feet. 조용히 몸을 숙여봐. So take a look, 나를 기억해요, queen. All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep down. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up in a way. You know I got it like bum bum, blow your mind. Never giving less, and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. Way out，感觉犹如海浪的味道，不断往前，oh you never way down. This is how I do it every day. Wow, wow，这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间，无比的耀眼。I know you want some more，准备好就一起走，giving it all more。No, I got it so deep down. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it, never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up in a way. You know I got it like bum bum, blow your mind. Never giving less,
There we go.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. It's 3 a.m. versus Late Shot Chung Con. The content that you have been missing, all of our players have been sorted out, and we are ready to go. As it will be Kazakh's taken away. I'm really looking at these bans right now. Lee Sin has got to come in. Miles, this game is going to force some crazy adaptations out of both teams.
Yeah, honestly, so far 3AM have been target banning Kitsuo a lot. So the fact that he still has a lot of things to pull out in spite of that is actually a really good forward side of Late Shot Chung. But we'll see what the adaptation is. Maybe the Lee Sin ban. Do you think I'm expecting either that or a Seraphine? I'm expecting that, then a Seraphine ban on the side of Late Shot Chung.
That's what should happen right now. There we go. Lee Sin gets taken away. Now you decide whether you give the Seraphine. I think, like you say, the answer is no, which leaves us still with some pretty powerful picks on the board. We'll see what 3AM choose to go for. We know they like the Udyr. We know that they
That's
like...
taken out.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry, my apologies. We also know that Kaisa is really strong for Corgi Dorgi. We might see that picked up. Galio first pick is a thing.
That's interesting, but I kind of think that you're giving away your hand by picking the Galio means that you want to go for a more global comp. So with the Galio first pick now, I think we might end up seeing the Camille in this game. The thing they were excited for, Dia. So Galio, especially good with a lot of diving champs, so with the Camille, perhaps a Nidalee, or possibly another Hecarim. I don't think it was too bad last game, but again, we're getting the Ezreal from poor Corgi Dorgi, and he performed super well on it. Why not just give it to him again?
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind seeing something with a little bit of dive, but the job is obviously going to be harder. Now that Ezreal is picked up, you can pick something equally disengagey here, or honestly find yourself a nice matchup into mid Galio. It's always the potential for it to be flex support, but if you blind something like an Orianna, I don't mind. Ezreal Yuumi is the call, though, as that's going to be Corgi Dorgi popping off as a win condition.
That's kind of a throwback. I haven't seen Ezreal Yuumi in forever. It's still viable. It's
Yeah.
not strong as it was last year during the spring season, but it's still good. And the Senna, I talked about this in the pregame discussion. Senna is probably the strongest ADC. I really want to see them pick it up, but the Camille's not bad either. But they really should pick up the Senna here before it gets banned away from them.
For qué no los dos? I mean, you have so much time right now, and we talked about the punish to Senna being these aggressive bot lanes that clearly LCCC are not going to be picking. We have a little bit of an error with the draft that takes us away for a brief moment. We should be back in super soon. And I wonder if the teams will go for the same things, because right now, I don't think you're in a terrible spot as 3 a.m., but Late Shot Chung also don't really... Oh, okay, there we go. Late Shot Chung also really don't have a problem with it. So we've left the lobby, this is important, because they want to pick Senna. Because 3 a.m. do want to pick Senna, but they don't actually have it. And so
no.
I expect we'll be getting some sort of finagling, some bartering over the draft.
Yeah, maybe one day, right, we'll give everyone access to the tournament realm so that these kinds of problems can be avoided. But yeah, well, that happened, so
we're okay. We've made it.
Yeah, let's bring it back in, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we'll be back soon. We're gonna pop into the draft right about now, and we should get more or less the same things. All of the blue essence has been disenchanted, so that we have that Senna Camille second round for blue, which is exactly what I think you wanted.
Yeah, pretty much. I do really like the Senna pick. Camille and Senna would be extremely strong there, and they're taking their time with the banning phase, but we can talk about the Senna a bit more. It can go ADC, it can go fasting. I think it's a bit more effective as a fasting pick, and in which case I do think that on the second ban phase, that Late Shot Chung will probably want to get rid of the Tahm Kench to give Senna less safety, in the team fights.
Yeah, honestly, give everyone less safety, because Tahm Kench is so unlocked through somebody like a Senna to be able to pick up that farm, to become really tanky, to become this frontliner that Corgi Dorgi is going to struggle to get through. The nice thing is that this guy doesn't really like to play front to back, so we might just see him try and assassinate Buckzak on the Senna. If you take away the Senna, hey, Death is the best CC, but it's going to take a lot of work to get through somebody like Galio, Camille, to finally be able to access that backline.
Yeah, pretty much. And the fact that Senna can be able to support her team and do damage at the same time means that it will unlock the whole team for diving. And like I said, the Camille and Senna pick up here is going to be huge for them, I believe. So, we've got another cohesive. I've talked about what 3AM can do to adapt. Here's what they're doing. They're pulling out a completely different style than what they've shown so far. They're going for a more 1-3-1 comp with a lot more dive potential.
Yeah, and we haven't had the chance to see Kobe have the game on his shoulders in this series. Jarvan gets locked in. So this is interesting because now you can kind of benefit as Lei Chung from what you set up earlier. Granted, you lost the game, but we know that Jarvan can be flexed now, and that's actually going to be weighing pretty heavy in the minds of 3AM.
Yeah, pretty much. And Jarvan, in the hands of Sunny, it was real good during the laning phase, not gonna lie. The fact that he was able to out-CS and his Seer in the laning phase was extremely good. So the Tom Kench ban, we expected it went through, and now it's all a matter of possibly, I think they want to be banning Gragas here. Hecarim is also a good ban. Take away the ways that Lei Chung can disengage fights because they want to be diving onto the backline as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is not something where you're going to dance around with Jarvan. He's not really one of those people that can get in and out of team fights. He is a go-in type of guy. So we'll see if they can double down on that and actually get their full-on engage on, because if you are engaging into Camille Galio, you're taking away a lot of their autonomy. And making those champions play reactively is going to be a big favor. We do get the Tom Kench ban, as you alluded to previously. Nicely done from Lei Chung to recognize that win condition.
Yeah, pretty much. And we have Soraka, Kingdom ban. Soraka, interesting pick. That would be extremely hard to deal with if they manage to get to the mid game, late game deep fights. Let's say Senna and Soraka would have so much sustain, it would be impossible to get through. And
what?
Oh, the Karthus jungle. At least I think
on 11.4.
This should be very interesting. I did not expect it to be pulling this out, but Karthus is still a relatively strong champion. That means that right now, the scaling on both sides is going to be interesting. Karthus kind of does put 3AM on a bit of a timer with the way that his ability is working. You just output so much damage, and
yes,
you're losing your mind here.
Yes, I'm so excited. Miles, we have a Shyvana versus Karthus. The AP farming junglers, 11.4, did not shut them down.
Oh my gosh, I didn't expect to see two AP farming junglers here. Unless the Shyvana decides to go AD. I heard it's a bit more effective, but we'll have to see.
Another one!
Alright, so the fact that Kiana was picked indicates that Shyvana will probably go AP, because otherwise it's gonna be they can just stack Jarvan can just stack armor and completely ruin everyone's day on the side of Lei Chung.
And Galio's gonna go bot.
Yeah, actually, Galio is the support, so this might not be a fasting Senna. We might see Senna picking up farm instead of Galio, but we'll have to see what the setup will be in game. Zoe picked up on the side of Lei Chung, so this is a very interesting composition. Jarvan should be good enough front line to deal with everything, and this will be a poke comp actually coming out of Lei Chung. So we'll see if they're able to pilot that and lay siege towards what the AM wants to do, which is to dive them.
Yeah, and with poke compositions, it is all about being even or ahead when we crest 15 minutes. Because if you are, that mid-game favors you so much around objectives. Before that, ball's in 3AM's court.
Yeah, I do agree. So we'll have to see how both teams... It's so exciting to watch these teams. There's so many different styles, so many different ways that two distinct ways that these teams think about the game. And, Corgi Dorgi, he might not be happy with just staying back and shooting off his arcane shots. He might just charge in. I'll play the enemy team. We'll have to see how things go.
Yeah, it might be one of those games. I want to get your opinion though, because 3AM have changed their draft really significantly. My question to you is, does that look like it's a transition in play style?
That's an interesting question. It may not, because just because you have a different team comp doesn't mean the way you think about the game will be really different.
Mhm.
I assume that they'll still want to be working together as a unit because they are kind of also stronger together, especially with Senna backing everyone up when they try to dive in during during the first 15 minutes of the game. So we'll see. We'll have to see how well. I haven't seen them 3AM play a dive comp like this, so I'm interested to see what they can pull off.
Yeah, it seems like on the surface, 3AM have a very different game plan going in. If they can fully execute on that, this is going to be a very, very different game and possibly a very scary one for Late Shot Junkon. But they've also swapped out a lot of their game 2 success with a different style, opting very much into Corky Dorky and Omnix being able to lay down the hurt. So it's time to see which adaptation works better. Both of them had styles that weren't necessarily broke, but both of them have definitely been fixed. So let's see which one fixed it better as we do head into the third game of the day. Late Shot Junkon versus 3AM here at Raccoon Cup 2021 at SFU. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okie doke, welcome back, folks. We are very much into game 3 of 3AM versus Late Shot Chung. It's been 2 very explosive games back and forth, so if you could do me the favor, Miles, of catching everybody up on what has happened.
What's happened is extremely different team comps coming out from both teams, and I'm excited for it. This is a best of 5, and the adaptations are pretty exciting. 3M, who's been using solid 5v5 team fight comps up till now, has opted into a more global type of team comp with an emphasis on diving towers. Meanwhile, on the side of Lei Chung, we have a more poke-oriented comp with Karthus, Zoe, and Ezreal in the mix, and I didn't expect this coming from them.
No, this is not something that I think it's safe to say anybody expected coming into today. With the Karthus really standing out like a sore thumb in 11.4. The changes here have made it so that it's still not a strong pick, but you illustrated the way that he warps the game around him, and I want you to dive in a little bit more on that.
Yeah, Karthus is a very late game oriented champ. When he gets to his power spike, he can be extremely strong and output so much damage, but he has to get there. You know, if he gets invaded, if he gets shut down in the early game, then Karthus kind of becomes a bit useless. There's a bit of pretty much becomes a liability, I would say, in their team comp. So Leisha Chung will have to be playing around the fact that they have a Karthus in the game. If they can get Karthus to his power spikes, then they have the scaling. They have the scaling necessary to outdamage TAM in any siege.
Yeah, this is very much a stay even, get to the point where you've got your items, where you can lay down this poke, and then just watch the fruits of your labor, because 3AM aren't going to be able to do a whole lot about it. Their composition is very much go in, win the team fight. And if you're low on health, you can't quite get there. We'll see if they can pull the trigger at the right times. And honestly, how this mid lane goes right now, because SkyDoodoo, we haven't seen him play something that needs to be aggressive yet.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting fight between Zoe and Kiana. Zoe, of course, is the reigning champion, so she should have an advantage there. And priority, at least, for Karthus to keep farming safely in his own jungle, possibly do some counter jungling when he sees Shyvana on the other side of the map. So it'll be an interesting fight for sure. Kiana isn't a champion we've seen too much ever since her nerfs, but now I think she's pretty viable, and the fact that there's an AP jungler on her side means an AD champ in the mid lane is pretty good.
Yeah, she's gotten to a point where it's like you say, it's playable, although my game might not be playable for TCT as we cut over to him being invaded at his blue buff. Backup is here as well with Kitsuo, but might not even be needed. Lay Waste connects, and it will be first blood going over to Sunny very suddenly, and honestly, you do not expect that as TCT.
Yeah, honestly, I expected them to play safe, but instead they went aggressive, and that might have been the key right there, because you know, if you don't expect to see it coming, then you won't be prepared for it. And the fact that you're able to take advantage of that means that Karthus can get ahead in this jungle matchup, which could accelerate the game forward.
Zoe popping the summoner spells in the mid lane is going to be not really helping doing SkyDoodoo any favors. Although he goes aggressive, an Omnix is gone. Where did he go?
Oh man, deleted. Possibly not respecting the amount of damage that Kiana can do in the early game, and this Jarvan's back, and there's a gank.
Oh, Kabi not respecting the fact that Kitsuo can show up in his lane either. This should be a very dead Camille, although the lay waste goes wide, and Kabi gets out with the hookshot.
Alright, so a lot of action already in the early game as we've come to expect from these two, but so far that solo kill in the mid lane is going to be pretty huge when it comes to it, because Kiana is actually very hard to deal with. She can just output so much damage, and there is only one dedicated tank on the side of Leisha Chung, so if she manages to get into the back line, that will be extremely hard to deal with.
Yeah, in this game, becoming about Kiana is a really good way to shut down Karthus in his own jungle as well. The roaming potential from this champion is really insane. TCT, though, shutting him down would be deadly. Does get the flash over the wall, and actually the double root turns the fight very quickly. Corgi Dorgi in trouble right now. Does not have a way out, has to burn his own flash, and SkyDoodoo can go aggressive. Kitsuo's taking a lot of damage, and Karthus is not going to be having a fun time. Buckzak picks up a kill.
Yeah, and that's just what you're talking about with the Kiana. She's able to get in and just do so much damage in the early game, especially with all the terrain around them. And
Omnix, the flash gets picked up. And he's fine. Blast cone, good.
Alright, Omnix getting away with a lot right now, but blue team on 3AM being able to get the first dragon. It's an Ocean Drake. First two dragons don't really matter much, but it's a nice bonus for them to pick up. Along with those kills, so good for so far them coming out ahead in this trade, despite the earlier deficit that Leisha Chung put Shyvana in.
And the Ocean Dragon is the one that ends up going down, which normally I wouldn't really need to comment on, but the fact that it's into poke lanes actually makes this dragon a lot more impactful than ones we may have seen in the past. Sunny goes aggressive in this top lane, as Kabi certainly feeling good since he has the backup of SkyDoodoo with no flag, no drag. Sunny is going to try and pick up as much CS as he can, get his cooldowns right back up, and tries to take down Camille. The Requiem should secure the kill, and Kabi goes down.
All right, so trading 1 for 1 there, they're able to give more resources into the Karthus, and if you look into the CS, Karthus has an extremely fast clear time, which I forgot to mention earlier, but yeah, Karthus can easily outplay Sivana in this regard, and the fact that he's getting kills, he's getting some assists, means that he's gonna get to his items faster and faster. So I don't dislike what happened in the top lane, but Kiana is definitely making her presence known in this game.
He now has picked up full boots, the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Very hot item recently. Has been secured, and it's going to give Skydudu a lot of access to all of his cooldowns very, very quickly. Which you might not think is the most important thing on Kiana. Why not go boots of mobility to try and get more of those roams up? But the reality is that it's going to be very, very impactful. Kabi, the hookshot goes the wrong way. We know that with our 2020 vision, but he's just going to find that right now. TCT is here to back him up, but unfortunately, he's going to have to leave him to the wolves. Unfortunately, Omnic does not even pick up an auto attack.
Yeah, unfortunate for that. Doesn't get an assist, but kills a kill, goes over to Getsuo again. So much possible getting this card as fast as possible. That's the key. That is their win condition, and the fact that they're able to do that bodes well on the side of Chung. But it's not a completely dead game. Kiana can still be a big problem, especially when it comes to team fights and them lying in the back line. And it's exciting to see. We're not seeing any stomps one way or another. We're seeing both teams fighting back each other, both knowing what their win conditions are and playing towards it.
Yeah, and gold is relatively even right now, and we remember who is favored in an even game. It is Leicha Chung. With the way that their team wants to play the game, it's going to be very easy for them to benefit off of a game that lets them hit their power spikes without any real punishment. Real punishment is what we're looking now to Skydudu to lay down. We were thinking about it coming from the bot lane maybe, but with Senna Galio, not really going to happen. Kabi, likewise, not having a great game. This is about Skydudu right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And, I'm actually impressed with what Sunny's doing. This guy is a Jarvan main at heart, and the fact he's able to win this matchup against Camille, even though he did have help, he did have resources given to him from the Karthus. He's been doing extremely good in the 1v1, and my compliments to Sunny being able to do well in that matchup against what has been the best top laner for many patches in a row.
Yeah, and it doesn't even feel like Jarvan, as much as he is getting resources, as much as he is getting backup, with the Karthus specifically, it feels so much like he's on the receiving end of that, as Corgi does manage to find a kill here. AP Siobhan is very, very strong, though, and Corgi will end up going down off that overextension. TCT picks up his first kill. Oh my lord, Skydudu is going to be insane this game. Finds the supreme display of talent into the wall. Should be able to pick up Kitsuo on the back here. Gets the shutdown and gets out with his life. The Requiem, though, might just be too much, and he will be shut down.
Alright, so a lot happening right now. I think Yumi was able to get away from the Shyvana at least, so victory there. It's a 1-for-1 in the bot lane. Ezreal for Senna. Both ADCs going down, and action all over the map. Sunny getting a 1v1 kill onto Camille.
Insane.
I salute Sunny. He's winning matchups that I don't think he should be winning. First against Azir, now against the Camille. What can this man not do on the Jarvan? It's being a real nuisance for 3 a.m. to deal with, to be honest.
Oh, this could be really bad, though. Corgi Dorgi does not have a lot of ways out of this situation. Has to burn his flash one more time over the exact same wall as before. And he may be strong, but it's not going to be a whole lot of fun. Sunny goes at it again in this top lane, and I don't think you can expect this to stop for a while, as Kabi, this Jarvan is feeling really good about himself, and Corgi not so much.
Yeah, pretty much. And oh my gosh, what do we make?
Oh my god, he's alive!
How is Ezreal alive? That Yumi heal. It was just a small burst of healing, but it manages to give him enough to not die in that situation. Senna should have gotten the kill, but Ezreal gets away.
Kabi doesn't get to play the game. This is so depressing.
But this time their advantage is getting on the side of map, on the side of 3am. So it's not all doom and gloom. Kabi's deaths are at least going towards something, but yeah, so far Kabi not having a very good fun time in the series right now, getting camped over and over and over again.
Yeah, and it's turning into a very yin-yang of a matchup one more time. This time, Skydudu is the one who is able to translate the advantage more around his lane, and honestly bot lane right now, Corgi Dorky getting abused a little bit, but the top lane is very much the same story, just on the other side. Kitsuo and Sunny teaming up very, very well against Kabi, and it turns into Dragons for the side of 3 a.m. And Dragons are worth just a little bit more in this game.
Yeah, so first dragon stacking is there, and we do get a Cloud Drake. So not completely the end of the world if Chung decides to give up the soul, but still, it's a good bonus to have. And at least it's not something devastating for them, like an Ocean Drake or a Mountain Drake. But as I say that, as it's happening.
Flash from TNT does find the stun, although TCT is going to need a little bit of backup. Doesn't have the ultimate just yet. Skydoodoo certainly does, though. Supreme Display of Talent is going to stun 3 members. It's so huge! And Omnix is the one being chased down right now. Corgi Dorky picks up a kill onto Skydoodoo. Almost makes it a double there, but instead it is Skydoodoo who walks away with that one. Corgi can't quite find his way into the rest of them. But that's a big play, both for 3 a.m. and Lei Cha-Chung.
Yeah, so it was a 2-for-2, but this does favor Lei Cha-Chung a lot because they do have control over the river now. They just don't have a jungler though, so is it worth to get the Shrimp Herald?
Oh, GCT! Watch the E! Watch the E! It's gonna be massive! Sunny goes really, really low, but Buckstack is the one that gets finished off there. TCT burns down Sunny though, and should be the end of this dragon play, but Corgi Dorky wants to take it. Even the half health from the Shyvana E is not gonna do quite enough. Corgi Dorky kind of popping off right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, pretty much. Him on this Ezreal is just doing super well, and 3 a.m. they're getting a bit outplayed here in these team fights, honestly, with the way things are going around. I don't think it's over just yet.
Oh, Kabi's in there, and Skydoodoo, remember him? He hasn't got the ultimate just yet, but he's got all of his other cooldowns. Jumping on, picks up a single kill onto Kitsuo one more time, but Omnix is here to respond to it. Stealth, buying a little bit more time. Control ward goes down, and Skydoodoo knows that he's spotted. The jig is up, but he's still playing around this vision so well. Does this guy play Kiana all the time? Omnix flashes for it, but Skydoodoo's still very much in this. Should be able to go down here eventually. Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes wide. The Supreme Display of Talent is out, but Corgi Dorky goes on a rampage.
Oh my gosh, Skydoodoo was spending so much time, but it was all for naught, and Galio tried to help the mid laner, but I don't think he's gonna make it through that either. And so far, DM's just getting outplayed in these fights. Honestly, with tempo going towards the side of Lei Cha-Chung, this Corgi on this Ezreal, he's just outmaneuvering everyone on the map and dealing so much damage. Plus, with the safety factor of this Yumi on his side, means that he can take so many risks and come out ahead.
Yeah, he's got so much safety afforded to him, and you remember what we were saying, where you want to be even or ahead by 20 minutes? Right now, Lei Cha-Chung are ahead off of those few plays, and I don't really see it turning the other way around. Even Kiana right now, as threatening as she is, can only do so much.
Yeah, pretty much. You can only do that very little on the backline, at least until the Senna starts scaling up and taking over. But the fact that she's not fasting means that she doesn't get afforded as much benefit from the souls as she would from a fasting Senna. So her range will kind of be limited in this regard and won't be as big as when she was playing with the Tahm Kench, let's say. So
that's true. She won't be able to hit you from quite as far away, although she could just get insta-deleted if Omnix chooses to go that route. Does do a fair bit of damage, but it is going to be instead your AD carry that is getting deleted. Corgi Dorky. No vision in this bot side to actually afford him safety, does go down.
Yep, bit of disrespect there by Corgi, thinking he's safe down in the bot lane with the tower, but no, he is not there. So Corgi, you know, that happens. Just get over it, keep playing, and things start to heat up with picks all around the map, and you know it can be hard to track if you're a team on where is where with all the chaos that's happening around.
TCT's up here alone right now, but has Skydoodoo roaming up, ends up engaging the fight and trying to delete at least Yumi, which is easier than it might at first appear. Same thing goes for this Karthus, who just does end up going down, but now Skydoodoo, unfortunately, is going to eat the Requiem and get shut down himself.
Man, these fights are going back and forth. I am not sure what this Yumi doing there alone, and she's probably placing down some wards, but it was not safe at all. And she got CC'd, and we know when Yumi gets crowd controlled, her E does not activate, and she cannot attach herself to someone for a few seconds. So unfortunate there for her getting caught like that, but they're able to answer back at least 1-for-1 in that regard. Or at least it's 1-for-2, but Karthus was able to answer back, get the shutdown for himself, and accelerate his lead even further.
And Karthus getting kills, like you say, is putting a timer on the game, and that timer is just ticking down bit by bit. I want to see Hourglass Karthus. Just a Karthus walking around as an Hourglass that slowly goes down as the game goes on, because I feel like it would be really, really accurate. This guy is going to be doing a lot of damage, and they get a free dragon off the back of that too, with just no answer from 3AM. Kabi goes down. TNT's trying to re-engage the fight, but TCT doesn't have the ultimate to layer on top of that big taunt just yet. Kitsuo's more than safe, and it's an even fight so far. We'll see who ends up re-engaging this, as it seems like 3AM are looking for it. Kitsuo goes golden, and it's going to eat a lot of damage, flashes away from the Shyvana E just to survive right there. Certainly would have gone down. And now, at the very least, 3AM have a little bit of priority in mid lane.
Yeah, I think they should use the priority shove in the tower as much as possible while the resets are happening on the side of Chung. And team fights are incredible to watch, I gotta admit. The mechanical display skill on display here is really amazing, especially on the side of the team with very little tanks. This Karthus,
Sunny?
Oh, wait, teleport?
He's looking for it. Skydudu should just go down right now. The stealth is doing him a lot of favors, but it ain't quite enough.
I think almost every kill I've been seeing is a shutdown so far with the amount of kills that this Kia has been getting, but she gets taken down, and now the priority instead shifts over, and oh, that was so close. That was so close, dude. Almost catching the Sun there off guard, but you know, she makes it back in time. Crowd control just not enough, but fight still could happen, and so far chaos happening all over the map, and this is still pretty much in the favor of Lei Chung because of the timing window, the hourglass is set on the Karthus. It's going to be dealing too much damage in the late game.
18 minutes, and they are still, as we say, check even, check ahead. They're doing quite well, and 3AM slowly but surely are falling off. You see Skydudu get deleted with ease there. Nobody can really respond, and TCT has not hit the item breakpoints yet. Just now picking up the Night Harvester is really, really far behind everyone else. I actually want to check in with the gold right now. He's 2,000 gold behind Karthus, but not even matching up with anyone else on his team.
Yeah, pretty much so. Things not looking too good for the side of 3AM, but you know, there's still ways to get back into this game for them. If they are able to get into the backline, be able to assassinate the Ezreal, the Zoe, the Karthus, they're still squishy. They only have one tank on their side, who is the Jarvan. So if they can get around him, then they can start winning a lot of skirmishes. But that is a question of whether they're able to catch this Ezreal or the Zoe, because they are some of the slipperiest, most slippery carries in the game.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to get on top of the backline right now, especially without a lot of punish, because Kitsuo's got the hourglass right now. He can just sit on top of his carries, make it very difficult to access them, and there's not a whole lot of options right now for the side of 3AM. The option that is remaining to them, though, is this neutral objective that has been left relatively unavailable to Lei Chung. They pick that Rift Herald up right before Baron spawns.
Yeah, that was close. They were able to pick up. That's pretty huge, actually. So they're able to shove up this mid lane, give more freedom for themselves to roam around the map, give a bit more map control to themselves, please. But yeah, Baron's up, and both teams were probably... Dragon Soul's not going to come anytime soon, so Baron might be something that both teams start wanting to look at as a neutral objective that they want to take.
Both CCs in the top lane go wide, so no kill threat to be found. Skydudu burns a flash out of Omnix and now needs to get out himself as, ooh, Paddlestar. Just ever so slightly missing right there. Kitsuo is grouped up in the mid lane, forces a flash out of TCT. Now needs to be burned for wave clear. The engage might come in from Sunny. Flash Cataclysm is going to start this one off. Final chapter gets channeled, but doesn't quite find anyone. Does force multiple summoners, though, out of people like Skydudu. Kabi engages in a very big display of talent. Does stun up 3 members. They've taken down 1. Might be able to take down Karthus, but he's still doing the damage right now. Requiem is channeled and is available and might be able to take somebody down, but Kabi and Bucksack just barely survive for long enough and are still burning down. But it's fine.
Oh, man, that was so close. 3am able to find a way into that. The Supreme Display of Talent from the Kiana was so huge there. Able to get stun off onto Karthus, Ezreal, and the Zoe. Zoe manages to get away, but oh man, so far things are on the knife's edge for both teams.
Yeah, that Supreme Display of Talent is unfortunately what you need to find every single time. It looks really good for 3am, but the barrier to execution right now is so high, and that's exactly it. That's exactly what we need to be seeing from the Corgi Dorgi. He's putting his barrier of execution very high, and that's not where you want it to be, my friend. What the?
Well, Corgi, you know what he's like. He wants to be in the back line, not in the front line, dealing damage.
That's true.
That's the man that wants to assassinate on the Ezreal. He has the Night Blade to do it, so, and that's the playstyle that Ezreal favors right now, so if you can't do it, but now the Dragon is up, there's a Baron buff on the side of 3am. Will the contest happen? I don't think it should. I think they should just let this go. Fight for the next Drake when things have cooled down somewhat, when their enemy team isn't buffed.
You give over Soul Point right now, which is really, really nice, specifically for TCT, who has been silently benefiting off these dragons the whole time.
Yeah. When Cloud Drake going to be huge for them, allowing them to use their ultimates more often. Galio will be happy with that. Senna, Kiana. Actually, all of them will be happy on that since all of them are very ultimate dependent. So the CDR, the ability haste, I'm so used to saying CDR.
I know.
The ability haste will be extremely good for them, and if they're able to pull off those dives more consistently, more often onto the backline, onto Ezreal and Zoe, then I can see them like easily negating the fact that Karthus is getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, it's just got to be quick and it's got to be decisive from 3am. Any sort of indecision on their part would make it a lot easier for Lei Chung to win a fight, and ever so slightly behind right now are they 3k, but decisively going on to Kitsuo. Very nice. Zanya's is going to save his life and actually end up saving the tower that they committed a lot of resources to save.
Yeah, already that ultimate wasted on Zanya, so very good reaction time from the Karthus actually using the Zanyas. They're able to ease pressure on bot lane. Mid lane's still getting pressure though, but they should have the wave clear to deal with that.
Flash is down right now as Camille does end up going to sleep. Flash in actually should be the death of Omnix right there. Perfectly capitalized on by TCT, who now is going to be eating a lot of damage on the way out. Karthus gets the shutdown.
Oh my gosh, that's so much damage.
And they will be forced to disengage. Look at the low health bars off of only one of them really being under tower.
You're right. So honestly, if I were... Let's think about this for a bit. They can do so much damage. They can bring the health bar super low. It would actually be okay to give away the Cloud Soul and just fight for the Elder instead, because if you get that, then the dive comp is immediately negated by the execution that they can output from the poke, especially from the Karthus ultimate, which will, put everyone in execution range from one Ezreal feed, from one Zoe Paddle Star.
Yeah, it would be a tough ask, because obviously, fighting over Elder is really, really crucial. You've got to execute as Lei Chung, but we've seen them be able to micro these fights really, really well, and there is a small disadvantage for them right now, but it's by no means insurmountable. It's just about that 3k mark at the moment, and there's plenty of time for them to become more powerful, keep that gold within touching distance, and then try and find their fight. Right now, it has been 3am. We're pulling the trigger on these engages more often than not. Sunny is the only one for LCCC that can actually make them happen on their terms.
Yeah, and if you're a poke comp, your weakness is getting engaged on. The fact that 3am are able to do that consistently bodes well for them, but Jarvan got out. And yeah, that's 3v1. You're not going to survive that no matter how tanky you are. And Jarvan isn't actually building fully tank items. He's kind of going for a more half tank, half bruiser build. So the fact he got bursted down isn't too surprising. But if you're 3am, you'll take what advantages you can get, because Cloud Soul is coming up in a few minutes, and they'll really want to be able to secure that for themselves.
Skyduty thinks about going in, as that's a lot of pokes, surprisingly, going onto Kitsuo. Forces the Zanyas and the Flash. I'm not sure how this Karthus is being forced to play defensively, but he just is, and he's getting deleted while doing it. Requiem is available and is being channeled right now, but does he have the damage? It's not quite enough. The fight's still very much going in favor of 3am, and they find the kills and now find the turret.
Yeah, and the way 3M are playing these fights are extremely good. They're playing together as a unit, as we talk about. That is their style. That is what they want to do as a team. They want to have each other's back. This Senna providing so much sustain that otherwise, with any other AD carry, a lot of the times, many of the AM players would be dead. Honestly, so this Senna providing immense value with her healing right now.
Certainly is, and around the next dragon in 41 seconds. You mentioned that as Leicha Chung, you can consider giving this up. I think after that team fight, you're certainly feeling like you have to. It's not going in your favor at all right now, and you want a little bit more time. You want Kitsuo to really be pushed over the edge with the damage that he can do, and he's not quite there yet.
Yeah, not completely, and I think that Grievous Wounds needs to be invested into as soon as possible because this Senna healing is starting to really ramp up, and I like the fact that I'm seeing this Oblivion Orb on the side of Karthus. He'll be able to at least negate something healing that Senna is doing, and I want to see more of that, perhaps in Executioners on the Ezreal. But yeah, it looks like they're giving up this Cloud Drake and just playing for the Elder.
It's wise. I like that they follow the call that you set up before. Elder Dragon now unlocked onto the Rift, as Skydoodoo also unlocked on the Rift, has been hanging out in these brushes, playing Boogeyman for Leicha Chung for about as long as I can remember.
Yeah, so now the question is, what now the onus is on 2-3AM. What do they want to do? They do have control over the other side of the map. They can start to force this Baron, and that definitely will make Leicha Chung have to respond to it as soon as they can, because they can't just give away the free Baron either along with the Dragon Soul. And
Kobe's, oh no, Kobe's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. So that was a solo kill. It could have been an assist. Yeah. A lot of pressure lost from that, and that will definitely buy more time for the Karthus to get online, and you start to get really scary right now. And the Elder, of course, coming up soon. I really want 3AM to force the Baron right now. Or
it's really I was gonna say it's really difficult right now because you haven't got anything. Omnix is the pick right now. Oh my lord, TCT takes him down. Corki Dorgi, maybe the next focus does end up falling in trade for his life. Skydoodoo will end up going down as well, but that's a trade that you will take. Corki Dorgi is such a big part of this team right now.
Yeah, pretty much. So Corki Dorgi getting taken out there, so 1-for-2 trade, but I don't think 3AM will be able to get much for it, and the fact that happened kind of does favor. Oh wait, over. I think Senna's trying to solo kill Jarvan right now. Oh my god!
It's actually so easy. Kitsuo doesn't stand a chance either. He's all alone with just a Yumi to his name, and Olivia is not feeling super good right now either. There's nothing that Kitsuo can do. Requiem just used off cooldown, unfortunately.
Yeah, fortunately for them, I think that would have killed Shyvana if they did have it, but now they can just turn onto the Baron. It should be free. The jungler is down. Only Zoe and Ezreal are up, so barring a miracle steal, 3AM should have this.
It's so crazy because we were looking at the 20-minute mark going, hey, you know what? This actually seems like Leicha Chung game's going in their favor. But the out-microing has really been done by 3AM in a lot of these fights. They've been able to fight through the damage from Corki Dorgi, the indomitable Kitsuo, now very clearly being something that can be dealt with. And in about 3 minutes, we've got the Elder Dragon up. I'm not even sure that Leicha Chung are going to be able to be in a position to fight by that time.
Yeah, that's the question. Leicha Chung, they just kept getting caught out again and again, and it just led to all this happening. The fact that they're not playing completely safe, willing to go out there and start small skirmishes like that is kind of hard for them to deal with. And if they're able to play a bit more safe, give up the objectives that they need to give up, maybe they would have to give up an inhibitor right now. But that's the play you want to go if you want to go for this late game scaling team comps. And oh my gosh,
I love AP Shyvana. It's literally the best champion in the game. It makes me so happy. Do another one, TCT. You can do it. Oh, that could be bad. That could be really, really bad. That could be Shyvana going down. TCT barely survives, but the Requiem's going to clean him up. And oh, the Zanya saves him.
All right, Pacquiao's dodge was really huge there. So almost a pick onto onto the Shyvana, that would have been huge in relieving pressure for Lei Chung, but the fact that they were able to get that, very unfortunate. She'll just get killed up by Senna, no problem, and alright, another close sleepy trouble bubble there, but
Are we calling that a bait? We could call it a bait. Kitsuo, certainly not baiting right now, is more in trouble than anything.
man,
Doesn't have the ultimate just yet.
Senna's range is getting longer and longer the later these team fights go. Even though she doesn't have much soul,
Onyx.
she's starting to get to the Senna.
Yeah,
Starting
I'm
to get
following
to the stage
exactly
where-
what you're saying, just emotionally.
Senna's starting to get to the stage where she's outranging turrets. Even though she doesn't have much soul, she's starting to get. The game is going late enough that it doesn't really matter.
No, it has the rapid fire cannon as well to be able to start things off from a distance. The glacial augment actually providing semi-soft engage right now. Kabi looking for Kitsuo right now, who's all alone under the tower. There's a lot of CC to be layered here, and Kabi ends up going down. Requiem still available, but unfortunately not going to find anything. TCT being hunted down by Corgi Dorgi, but the healing from Zac is just so big.
Yeah, Bugzac is the Senate so huge in the Steam comp right now. He has been the one healing everyone up, allowing them to survive all the poke that's been happening, sustaining them through it all, and the Senna pretty much taking the game right now, 4-3. Now the question is whether whether the team can stall out enough. The Elder Dragon's coming up. I think the big fight is gonna happen. The game's gonna be decided then and there.
16 more seconds on Kitsuo at the moment. If this man is alive, they have a chance of winning this fight, but it's going to take crazy performances from Corgi Dorgi, who's 2 levels down on Buckstack right now. The game is going so ridiculously 3 AM favored that Corgi Dorgi hasn't even had time to equalize in XP, which makes this so difficult. Actually falling behind in levels basically across the board. Kabi, the only one who is relatively behind to his lane opponent.
Yeah, and it's because of Ezreal kept dying, kept getting picked off. Meanwhile, Senna just on the backline, healing, getting assists. Only dying 2 times. Shanna is 7, 2, and 14. I can't stress enough how valuable she has been to this 3AM team. But
oh my god, TCT just blows up Kitsuo to start the fight off. Sunny tries to re-engage, but a double kill goes over to TCT as he goes golden. Skydew also going golden, is not going to be outplayed by Corgi today, who just goes down 3 picks to nothing, and the surrender is channeled. Lei Chung Kan, no, they can't do anything, and as the dragon falls, so do they.
well, man, that was a very close game, but it started to turn around once the picks started happening for the side of 3AM. And Lei Chung, it was a valiant effort. They were almost able to make it work, but the fact that their only frontline is Jarvan, and the fact that they have no disengage really bit them in the butt right now. They now that I think about the draft more, the fact that they banned the Gragas themselves feels a bit more counterintuitive. I think they should have taken that Gragas, put him in the support role, because I think Ezreal could have been fine on his own along with Zoe and didn't really need the Yuumi there. If they had a Gragas or something else, maybe an Alistar that could disengage, that could stop the dive from happening, I think it could have been a much better team comp. But with what they had, it was surprisingly a close game.
Yeah, that was, like you say, with what they had, surprisingly very tight. And I don't actually walk away from that game going, Lei Chung couldn't have won that. There were times in that game where it seemed like 3AM were the ones that were on the back foot. Being able to turn that around, being able to find their fights, worked out really well for them. But this isn't something that I can confidently say who's going to win game 4 now, you know?
Yeah, I agree. So much, pretty much back and forth. One team wins one game, the other team wins the other game, and I'm happy to see it, you know? It's good to see it. Hopefully we can get to a game 5. Hopefully Lei Chung can come back, and we can get to a final decisive game to see who comes out on top in this grand finals.
Well, if anybody can do it, it's going to be these 2 teams together that will bring us to that game 5. We'll find out how game 4 though goes just before that, and after a very quick intermission. We'll be right back. I've been Dia, this is Miles David, and we will see you in just a few minutes.
gotta go to the next level.
Moving too fast, life is moving in slow-mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. Homie, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire, and burst. Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but it's in my time. Better look in my eyes. I'm a genius in the skies with my heart on my sleeve. You can force you a block to a king in his prime. Everybody got a line. Sit back with the stars in line. I finesse like my life on the nine. Was a diamond in the rough, and now I shine.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants. Yeah. Shutting it down. Been in the grind of my people all up in this place. Spinning this thing. Go to my rank. Royalty up in my veins. I'm loco, think I'm so cold. I say something, ain't no going back. Now they ask where Kiki's at. I'm like, you can't hang with that. 쏟아져 빛이 멀게 된 눈이 멈추지 않아. Once we go, 내게 더운 날로 모든 배워 빨리 달려. 넌 못 따라와. True damage we do it. True damage 보여줄게. 뭐든 쉽게. 이기든 지든 my crew make the beat. No one could stop us. They'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. It's not the way we're weak, but we coming right back. This time you're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
I keep on shattering time. I might just leave you behind. Homie, you stuck on rewind. You should quit sleeping on mines. You got your back on reclined. When I damage your delicate spine, please don't act out, shy and surprised. They be like, what you mean? What is your winning scheme? I got a giant team. Biggest my self-esteem. Run it back, running man. They think they go hard, I'm like, come again. You run at a time and I'm busting in. While you stumbling, I got this blade in my hand for your punishment.
We're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open.
Welcome back. It is game 4 this time around for Raccoon Cup at SFU 2021. It is Late Shot Shao Kahn versus 3AM, and we've moved ourselves up to the match point, haven't we, Miles?
Yep, it's 3AM up 2-1 versus Lei Chao Chung, and things have been bad, but things have gotten a bit worse because Lei Chao Chung, their support has been hit by the internet problems and had to sub out, unfortunately. So already we've got a bit of a problem there, but we're hoping it still becomes competitive. We're hoping that it can go to a game 5, but this match point, you have a sub in. It's a bit trouble, Daya.
Just pick Yumi again, right? Like it's the same thing. It's just, yeah. Yeah, you can do it yourself, honestly. But no, jokes aside, it is going to be really difficult, and it is going to limit the kinds of practice that you've had going into this, and what your team is able to group up around in these games. We're actually even getting a very, very quick technical difficulty right now. So ideally, that gets fixed pretty soon.
Yeah, so I guess we could talk a bit about what happened last game and what both teams can do going forward. It was still a clash of styles between two different teams, but I'd say that 3AM were a bit the better team on that one, micro-wise and macro-wise, for the way they played the game, able to get onto the backline and engage while Lei Chung were unable to kite back. They got caught out repeatedly several times, and that led to major objectives just not going their way.
Yeah, but I think importantly, repeatedly in the early stages of the game, it was the side lanes that were suffering. As much as we did have Skydoodoo able to spread the lead of the Kiana, sides were still falling apart as 3AM. Maybe we see a return to that sort of stratagem going into this game, but with more of an emphasis on side lanes, because right now we've seen game one. The cheese picks were there. They attempted them, and it didn't quite work. Game two, very much a return to standard play. We did get a Lee Sin, and clearly Lei Chung Kan looked really good with that. Game three, not so much. It was what looked to be a return to standard. We had some crazy junglers, but now I think you've exposed a weakness in 3AM, and you just need to capitalize on it if you want to even up the score.
Yeah, I agree with you. The side lanes were kind of crumbling under the pressure of how we say Lei Chung's ability to lane. The question is, what do we do? I think Kitsuo did fine on the. Well, he got caught out a lot, but I don't think that's really his fault because he got engaged on. I think he was fine on the Karthus, but he was plagued by a lack of disengage. Like there was just no way to peel someone off of him when they try to engage on him. So if they're gonna go for a strat like that again, then I do think that they need to find some sort of disengage. But they can just go to what they did in game 2 successfully. Put Kitsuo on a ganking champ, get him and the lanes ahead.
Let's see if they can do it. I've gotten all the junglers that I wanted so far. We'll find out if we get yet another one. I really want to see one of those first three bans not really come through for 3AM. The Kha'Zix, the Rengar, those have been things that have been taken away from Kitsuo repeatedly over and over, and it doesn't look like this game's going to be any different. Come on, man.
Yeah, and I guess they really don't want those junglers in his hands. And the fact that he has to draw 3 respect bans every game is just shows how much of the caliber of player Kitsuo is. He's been doing the heavy lifting with regards to the draft wise, because it kind of opens up the strategy for Lei Chung to do what they kind of want in the draft phase, especially now that they have blue side, so they can just pick what they can go with a team cup that they really want. And there's Lee Sin ban. Never going to see that again this series. Right?
Do they ban Rengar here? No, they have to take away Seraphine, don't they? So we could get Rengar. This could be happening.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's the question then.
They let through Seraphine.
So they're letting him Seraphine more, and they're immediately just going to pick that up. And looks like they feared the Rengar more than the Seraphine, and it kind of makes sense, but Seraphine is the enabler for a lot of champions. Maybe Kitsuo is just that good, I'm not sure.
And I mean, you've got a little bit of time, right, to experiment. 3AM are the ones that are on the verge of winning the entire series. If you experiment here a little bit, it could cost you, but realistically, this is the time to do it. And they end up grabbing the Ezreal for themselves, feeling like that's been really strong for Corgi Dorgi, and they want to take that away.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a pick they want to do to take away the Ezreal from Corgi, who's been performing really well with it. In spite of getting caught out a lot last game, during the team fights, Corgi is just zooming in and out, being able to deal so much damage to the backline and getting away so safely. So they picked that up for themselves and the Alistar. So interesting lane there. Yeah, I agree. I was waiting for some Alistar or Leona, but never showed up. But now it does. I think one of the S tier supports right now, Alistar, along with the Leona. But paired up with the Ezreal, I don't really see it as a strong 2v2 threat. There is some burst potential there, but it's not that good.
Just so you know, in the entirety of playoffs, Alistair and Kaisa have been the top priority champions. We hit 11.4 and suddenly all of that changes. We haven't seen one yet today. Finally, we get to see TNT on the Alistair, and I'm really excited because he's looked really decisive on it in the semifinals. I felt like this was a big turning point for them, was being able to enable picks using TNT's roam potential, his knowledge of the Alistair, and capitalizing on overextensions in the jungle. If you want to target Kitsuo, it starts with that jungle support duo, and this is a great place.
Yeah, and it looks like Leicha Chung are going to punish that. They picked the Ezreal and the Alistar, I think, not to fight in the 2v2, but to keep Ezreal safe and Alistar can roam. Instead, they respond with the Caitlyn Morgana in order to punish that, because Caitlyn and Morgana will just not let Ezreal farm at all. They will shove him under tower immediately and make sure that every time he steps up, he gets hit by either a Morgana snare or a Caitlyn trap and gets shot and turned into Swiss cheese. So good punish there. I think it's a good punish there by Leicha Chung to pick that Caitlyn Morgana up.
And interestingly enough, the way that 3AM choose to continue with this draft is going to be by picking a Lucian. It's not what I would have expected, but I think recognizing that the Seraphine is going mid lane, they're going to try and abuse that mage.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they want to do, and it's safe to counter pick your mid lane, so might as well just go do it, because the Morgana is obviously probably going to go to the bot lane, along with the Caitlyn. It's a very strong 2v2, and Seraphine both probably go to mid lane. Omnix will perform extremely well with it, and if Sky Dudu can just stop Omnix from being able to rope around help his teammates, then that would be really huge.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to do, but I like where Leicha Chung are going in terms of the way that they are responding appropriately to 3AM and also simultaneously building a team composition that works really well. The last two picks, though, are going to tell us a lot. If we see a Jarvan here, I think you're playing it wrong.
Maybe. And it looks like it's their turn on the Karthus.
Interesting.
TCT is like, all right, let me show you how it's done, my friend. How to play Karthus the correct way. And the Karthus will have some feel for himself in the Alistar. Alistar can just headbutt anyone that tries to charge the Alistar. And I'm assuming that they're going to give a time counter pick over to Kobe up in the top lane. Maybe a Poppy, honestly. If they want to keep the Karthus safe, they want to keep their carry safe, then I think that would be fine, honestly.
I could see a Poppy working pretty well. And she's going to have lane priority, which is something that almost everyone is able to get. Morgana, Caitlyn is going to keep bot lane down pretty significantly, but Lucian should be able to run the mid lane, and we return to this Skydudu TCT duo that we haven't seen synergize super well yet, but is emerging as a real way into the game for 3AM.
Yeah, indeed, and we have the can pick up both. So we have some power farming junglers. Despite the fact we're 11.4 farming junglers, still the meta, and the Orin pick, I can't disagree with it. I think it's a decent pick against the Maokai. Orin still have to respect his level 1 to 6. It can be extremely strong, and he can solo kill you out of nowhere. So not a bad pick. And when he scales, he starts giving items. Cards become even more powerful, along with the Lucian and the Ezreal.
Lots of handshaking in this draft. That's really standing out to me. There's been a lot of, okay, you take Seraphine, we get the Ezreal, we get the Karthus. Oh, you have the Karthus, I'll take the Kayn. It feels like everything has just sort of been trades of relatively comfortable champions, but not a whole lot of familiarity here on the Rift.
Yeah, and you know what? Both players have opted into teamfight comps. The way things are going out. It's just that I think the front line for 3AM is a bit better, considering they have both the Alistar and the Ornn, but the kiting can be on the side of Leicha Chung, especially with the Morgana and Caitlyn laying traps. It will be hard to reach them. So it will be interesting to see the front to back team fights when they start happening. Because I think
Yeah.
that's where both teams will start.
Is that where both these teams are going? Is this a front to back comp for everyone?
It could be. The Kane will probably want to go to the back line, but the Maokai will have to run interference. Seraphine will have to use her ultimate. But I can see it happening. But Kitso is gonna have to be doing some stuff in the back line too. So it'll be kind of split. It'll be a 4+1 against a 5 team fight comp.
Yeah, I like the way that we're approaching this, though, with team fights being the focus, because this has been something that both teams on separate occasions have demonstrated that they can play really, really well. Let's find out which one will be able to out-execute right now. Corgi Dorgi's Caitlyn is, of course, a legend, but at the same time, we've got a lot of other lane pressure, and you remember that crucial thing that we brought up in Game 3, the timer on the game. Ornn, Karthus, Ezreal, all these guys want to scale up. They want to hit their item power spikes, and Ornn is just going to make those even stronger. So we've got a lot of time to play with. 3 a.m. wanting to extend the game quite a bit. And on the other side of that, Leicha Chung Kan very much wanted to outplay in these team fights. Let's find out who can play to their win con better. We're going to get into the game in just a few minutes. This could be the final game, so stay on your toes, everyone. We'll be right back with the 4th game of Raccoon Cup Finals. Great. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for Game 4 of Leicha Chung Kan versus 3 a.m. 3 a.m. are up 2-1 in this best of 5 and find themselves at match point. If they win this one, they win all the marbles. Leicha Chungkan got to keep themselves in it, though. We'll see if they can do it. They've drafted themselves, once again, a composition unlike one that we've seen for the remainder of their last couple games. So if they can find a way to victory here, it's yet another thing that you got to be afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there is kind of one pattern we've seen from all of Leicha Chung's comp. They kind of opt into these more harder to execute with outplay potential type of team comps, and I think it's kind of the same here with Kitsuo. They're on the Kane. Of course, that's going to be the X factor here. Kane, in the late game, is an extremely strong assassin. He can just 100-0-1 someone extremely fast. That Karthus, Lucian, and Ezreal will better watch out for that, and it can be extremely hard to peel off. And if Katsuo snowballs like he did with the Lee Sin game, then that could be also a key to victory for Leicha Chung. But on the side of 3 a.m., we have a bit more straightforward team fight comp with very good scaling, very good late game. It's bread and butter for them.
It's interesting that you say assassin, because Kitsuo does technically have the option to go for a bruiser style, but as you correctly have identified, it's the Dark Harvest picked up for him. I don't think we see a blue buff steal here. TCT should just have this one on lock.
Yeah, that was close though. It could have happened, and if it did,
the dream was alive.
That would have felt pretty bad. But yeah, I do think that Blue Cane will be the option here, especially since there are mostly range champs on the side of JM. It'll be easier to get stacks for that. I'll be able to get blue stacks for that one. So, as we said, Lucian already kind of dominating the lane phase here in the mid lane, trading and not getting traded back. So good stuff there. He's going exactly as we expect there in the mid lane.
On the other side of though, Buckzak is landing every Q. Oh, finally misses one. Caster Curse confirmed.
Feels bad, man. But yeah, I do think that Caitlyn and Morgana have the advantage here in the 2v2. They're both range champions. They can both CC, Alistar, and Ezreal. Alistar is kind of adds an abysmal level 1. We'll get pushed in, so the level 2 advantage will go to Caitlyn Morgana, and they can push this lane, shove it safely, and give Ezreal a very hard time when it comes to farming.
Yeah, that's going to be, the story of the respective lanes, right? This is what you've handshaked your way into, or handshooken your way into, is Skydoodoo getting to dominate his lane, and on the other side of this, your bot lane doesn't get to play the game for the first couple levels. They're doing their best, though, farming under the tower, have actually managed to clean up all of the appropriate amounts of CS, and find themselves at a very, very small advantage, so well applauded. But the CS that we should really be keeping our eyes on is that of the junglers, because TCT is on that Karthus, and it's not a handshake matchup like the one we saw last time. You take an AP farming jungler, I'll take an AP farming jungler. Kane's not a farming champion.
I mean, he can be if you make him that way, but yeah, he's gonna probably go. He wants to go for ganks, definitely, because he wants to get those stacks up and running and get to one of his farms as soon as possible. So I expect Kane to be active around the map soon, maybe invading, trying to get into Karthus jungle, trying to kill him or at least attack him for those stacks, basically. And I want to talk more about this 2v2 because they picked the Alistar in order for him to roam, in order to unlock TNT, who's been a really good playmaker on the side of 3 a.m. But he can't leave the lane anymore because they handshook the Caitlyn Morgana, and it's been good drafting at least by Leicha Chung to recognize that and take this advantage for themselves. And so that's a small advantage for them. The fact that Alistar can't roam, he is stuck in his lane with the Ezreal for now.
Yeah, it's been an advantage given over to the side of Leicha Chung. For now, I'm still holding out hope for TNT's Alistar that I personally believe in. I think, he can make those mid-game engages happen, but it's playing very well around it for the LCCCs of the Rift, and they're playing pretty well around the jungle as well. We see the invade from Kane pay off. Is going to be discovered by Skydoodoo, I think. Certainly will be now, as he's going to pick up a few free orbs for it. Might not be so free, though. The last couple autos don't actually take him down as he gets the health back from the Shadow Step.
That was very close, though. That could have been a solo kill given over to Lucian. We would have lost a lot of tempo for Kane there, but good job on him surviving that. He'll be able to get the reset off, but Karthus will be the first one back on the map, I believe, and already Karthus is going for an invade onto the top side jungle, so taking advantage of
Omnic
that
solo
switch,
kill.
but, oh,
High note, almost finds it. The crit magic doesn't quite land, and Omnix is now the one in trouble. Ends up flashing, actually, as Sky Doo flashes forward and picks up the first blood. Same thing going on in the bot lane, though. TNT flashing himself, tries to get the stun onto Corgi, and does. The heal comes through from Bucksack, but it's not quite enough. TNT does fall to Lex alive, and now trying to get the chase down, can't quite make it happen. Steps on the trap. Bucksack is just eating loads of damage right now and is looking for the kill, but it would be ill-advised. He's walking forward. The Kitsuo is here, flashes back, but ends up going down. Tragedy.
oh man, that was very close. Bucksack was very close to outplaying playing that, but unfortunately he gets ganked by the jungler, step a bit too far forward, and he can just go around from the side. Completely unexpected angles he can come from, so a bit expected, but that was a clean 2v2 win, at least on the bot side. Meanwhile, Seraphine getting solo killed. You hate to see it. He was so close to getting killed on Lucian and turning that, but Lucian managed to turn it around. Sky Doo been playing great so far in this series.
Yeah, has been doing really well, and maybe hasn't been the standout performer, but has found even in last game a lot of highlights, and now he's going to be more enabled. Once again, popping off on an AD champion is going to feel real nice.
Oh, there's the Alistar you were talking about, my friend.
Oh
He was
yeah, dude,
able
this
to
guy.
at least, despite the fact that they lost late and got 2v2 kills, Alistar was at least still able to get the rope off onto the Seraphine and start shutting her down. So the plus side is Seraphine's 2v2 fight here.
Skydoodoo's on the roam. TCT eating a lot of damage right now. Lex alive is the focus, though, as Skydoodoo does pick him up. Kitsuo also trades back here, finding a kill of his own. Requiem is going to damage Kitsuo, though, and might be able to clean up the kill. Is Skydoodoo. Now, Kobe in a lot of trouble here. Flashes forward, actually, trying to clean up the kill, and does find it onto Sunny. TNT is all over the map one more time, though, finds Corgi Dorgi, and it is all coming up 3 a.m. right now, baby!
Oh my gosh, all these fights going in the favor of 3 a.m. in the bot lane, top lane. Solo kills happening around the map. The 2v2 going in fate. 2v2 versus the mid and Chung. Wait, I think that was Morgana actually, not Seraphine.
Yeah.
Going in favor of everything went well for 3 a.m. that round. So early game pretty much going in their favor, and despite the fact that they tried that late Chung tried to my god, no way. Alright. Oh my god.
No way! It's so sad, actually.
I mean, I didn't expect Ezreal to be priority in this series, but the fact that Ezreal is able to pull off stuff like that with his burst is actually huge. The outplay potential on this guy is really good, and both Bucksack and Corgi have pretty much showed up huge on the pick. So I'm all for it. But so far things are looking good for 3 a.m. as you said.
Yeah, looking good in the top lane, too. Kabi really wants to take this trade. I'm not sure what the incentive is here, because it doesn't feel like he has the advantage in sustain, but clearly feeling like that himself is going to go for these trades and get the lane pressure that his jungler needs. TCT still farming up right now, is going to be found out in this jungle, but TNT over the wall is going to get the knock up, and oh, there goes Kitsuo.
Ah man, TNT. I can see where you're excited about Alistar. The way he's playing it.
Seraphine's on the roam. TCT should go down right now. Requiem, not quite off cooldown there. Actually ends up being put there as Skydoodoo goes unstoppable. Bucksack needing to find his way out here. Isn't quite dead yet. Nomnix can't finish him off. Ends up Arcane shifting the high note. And once again, it is one kill given over. TCT goes down, but the rest of 3 a.m. are rolling high.
Yeah, pretty much. And things are just going well for 3 a.m. They're kind of running away with this early game right now. The Ezreal being way too... everyone's kind of being way too... how should I put this? They're dashing away from the CC very well. But Bucksack is able to just weave in his Qs along with his auto attacks, doing so much damage in these skirmishes, in these small team fights. And I don't know. Things are looking up for 3 a.m. They might just run away with this game and this series, potentially.
TCT, I think he still knows that he has backup, but he's not actually winning this fight in particular. Skydoodoo goes over the wall and does trade junglers in the end, getting more gold onto this Lucian. TNT doesn't eat the binding, which certainly would have spelled his doom. And we'll call it a... Sure, you know what? Even trade. It's fine.
I'm not sure about that.
No?
Sky Dudu is 6-0. In 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough one.
This is looking like a really rough game to be in if you're on the side of late Chung, but the scaling team comp is starting to activate. They're getting a lot more picks on their side and are accelerating the game state really far. And oh no,
Corgi just dies right here. Oh, doesn't actually get found just yet, but Bucksack does manage to jump forward, picks up the Q there, and Sky Dudu goes on a rampage. In the meantime, picking up the support that was left to the wind right now.
Things are falling apart for Chung right now. Just not going well overall. The bot lane, despite the advantage they were getting earlier, it's just falling apart. Caitlyn is 0-3, Morgana is 2-4. The kills went on her instead of the Caitlyn, which is really bad. And Ezreal being able to solo the Kayn like this, he's so far ahead. Full item ahead of the Caitlyn right now. And Lucian, he has his Gale Force finish. He's already working on his second item as we speak. Karthus, he has Dark Seal ready. And he's getting stronger and stronger with every assist he gets.
Oh no, Kisuo almost gets found out there, but Skydudu isn't actually around to put in the last remaining hits on the damage. Omnix, though, is going to throw out the Encore for a little bit of damage before he goes down. Skydudu forces the flash out of Kitsuo, and now we might be seeing a few more flashes get blown right here. Corgi, unfortunately, does not have his, and the Ignite goes down. TNT can tank up this tower for about 8 years, and he certainly will. Buck gets yet another kill, and we've got a 4K gold lead, and we're going to only extend that from now. Lex Alive goes aggressive, having only one option under the tower, gets the stuns, but the hope really isn't there. Bucksack picks up that kill, easy as you like. Omnix is trying to find TNT right now, can't find the route, and it's just on the wrong, it's the wrong place to be. You can't hang out here, Seraphine.
Yeah, pretty much, and I think Ezreal will be able to burst her down super easily. Seraphine 0-5. Oh my gosh. Sky Dudu playing so well. He's already legendary.
That is.
And outside BC.
I'm just going to double check this isn't a quick reconnect right now. Seems like the timeline is still moving forward. Kabi, very much still moving forward as well. Actually, almost lost that, surprisingly. Despite the fact that he's 2-0-1, Maokai still able to take it to him.
Yeah, pretty much. And, you know, Maokai still has a lot of sustain, but Ornn is the head in items right now. He does have his tier 2 boots. Looks like we won't have a pause. I think 3AM think they're in enough of a lead to think that a few seconds Alistair not being on the map doesn't really matter. And, you know, with the way things are going right now, it's hard to disagree.
Yeah, right now, that gold lead has only continued to grow. We're at around 6K and shows no signs of slowing down. Skydudu also not really being slowed down. Has the Gale Force at the moment, so a lot of kill threat wherever this man is. And it's not just him. We've been looking at Bucksack doing his best Corgi Dorgi impression.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone across the board on 3M playing extremely well, playing together like a team, and they're backing each other up wherever or whenever there's a hole in their formation, they're immediately able to plug it up with smart rotations across the board, and they're going for objectives around the map. Already they take the second Drake. It's gonna be a Mountain Soul, and that will be extremely hard to break through if they manage to get that for themselves.
Real difficult. Bucksack having a pretty easy time in this mid lane right now. Is this dream of Ezreal being pretty self-sufficient right now, has a lot of safety, has a lot of push power, and doesn't sound like Late Shot Chung are going to be having a very good time. Omnix gets deleted, as one can only expect.
Yeah, this is one of the most dominating games I've ever seen from 3AM. They're just winning every fight. It's kind of brutal to watch.
What? He's actually going under the tower. I mean, he doesn't end up going down for it. Lex Alive is the one that does, with the Gale Force finishing him off. Corgi Dorgi is under a little bit of threat right now. Kitsuo trying to solo out TNT, almost does it, but actually ends up giving a kill to his support in the meantime. TNT doesn't go down, but Skydoodoo is more than safe right now, and Kitsuo does fall, giving Skydoodoo that legendary status.
So a bunch of shutdowns did go down, but I think the tempo is still pretty much on the side of 3AM. I don't think it's really going to change much with regards to how this game is going. Already tier 2 down in the mid lane, and they have to see a lot of map control here. So Lake Chung will struggle to find farm anywhere across the map, especially with Karthus already invading jungle. Kane died, he can't do anything about it. His teammates can't do anything about it either. Oh, Karthus getting caught, but it's not going to do anything.
Does he find another one? Make it, do it. Wait, what?
What? She went in?
I suppose. I mean, it will be a trade of kills right now. It seems like Karthus goes golden for a second as he does manage to find a kill, and 1-for-1 support for jungler is worth it.
Retake those. Definitely worth it. So Lex Alive making some good plays around the map herself. Will it be enough? That's the question. With a fed Lucian like this, it's getting it's getting harder and harder to see any way for Lake Chung to come back into this, barring a miracle teamfight or a throw.
Kabe trying to chase down Omnix is the most telling thing about this game that I've seen.
Yeah, honestly, when the orange is pretty much getting solo kill the mid laner, you think things are looking bad for your team, man. Oh. Yeah,
might end up getting taken down himself. Skydoodoo forced to flash right now, still is going to eat the Umbral Trespass, and that's a big shutdown. 11 kills worth of gold. Now very much in the hands of Kitsuo, and they're finding another kill in this bot lane. Kabe tries to trade back a little bit of damage, but doesn't have the backup of his team. Actually, looks like he might survive for a second as he goes unstoppable under his tower. Sunny ends up picking up that particular 300 gold. And 3AM lose a little bit of tempo, lose a little bit of gold on the map right now as TCT seems like he wants to spend more time in the gray screen, invades all on his lonesome for some Raptors, ends up flashing away right now. He's going to eat the ace in the hole. TNT, nice guy TNT, blocks that one for him, but Omnix finds a double encore, and man, this is Late Shot Chung finding their way back into it, honestly.
Yeah. So things are maybe not as doom as I thought they would be. The Raccoon coming in for everyone, but I don't think it's going to amount to much. But these picks have been really important. They're getting a shutdown goal onto themselves, and you know, who knows? Maybe they can get back into the game by this. It's still a bit unlikely due to how far ahead Lucian is, but you never know. Maybe a couple more picks like that, and they're back in this game.
Yeah, could be, and I say could be their way back in. Right now, they have lessened that gold gap, but still, no matter what sort of gold they pick up, as long as they are behind, I think it's important to remember that 3AM still have that scaling advantage.
Yeah, that is true. I agree. The Ezreal, of course, late game monster right now, along with the Lucian, who's still an ADC despite his emphasis on the early and mid game, and it's the Karthus especially, putting them on the timer right now. Karthus can do so much damage late game. We've seen it before. The Seraphine can negate it like in the way that Senna did, but I think it's going to be much harder once these Grievous Wounds start gets applied on the enemy team during these team fights.
Yeah, Grievous Wounds actually being super huge in this game, specifically, like you say, against the Seraphine. Oh, Lex Alive. Thinks about that one.
Yeah, that was close. If they can get a pick on Lucian, that would be huge again. You lose Marcus shutdown goal, but posturing here in the 5v5, I don't think it really favors Lei Chung. They're kind of they're at the point where they can be beaten by their wallets.
I absolutely think so. And right now, there's a numbers advantage for 3AM anyways. Kabe wants to try initiating, finds one single knockup, but that Black Shield doing wonders, saving the life of Corgi Dorgi. I'm not sure if Shelly gets a charge right now. There's a lot of stalling out at the moment. It will be an engage though onto Bucksack, who should go down right now. That's a big long Umbral Trespass, but Kitsuo is gonna get CC'd instantly and taken down. Oh, the Requiem finds one, the Culling finds another. That's 3 picks almost instantly found for 3AM, and Shelly might not have gotten a charge, but the tower will still fall.
Yeah, this will be inhibitor for them. Oh my gosh, Lexi Alive gets taken down by Lucian. This guy dude is huge. He's played the last game, the Kiana, he was the key to winning those team fights, and now he has just one lane and is dominating this game from start to finish. Such an impressive performance by the mid laner of 3AM.
Hey, he's got plenty of time to dance in their base, which I think tells us a lot, even more than the top laner running down the mid laner about the game state. And now they've got plenty of time for this Baron as well. Kitsuo's got to be feeling terrible after the Umbral Trespass that just didn't work out. It's the whole point of the Kane is to be able to assassinate somebody, and he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and well, I think he could have actually killed Lucian right there, but his team was right there. It was a 5v1. It was 5v1, and there's no way you can win that, even if you're the best player in the world.
We'll see if he can even survive at the moment. Good dodge on the Encore from Buckzak. Makes sure that it only finds one, and now gets to lay down the hurt on Sunny. So it's a tough game to find your way into, although the angles are sometimes there for Lei Cha-Chung, who have found a few fights. This might not be theirs, though, as Omnix really needs to get himself out of there. We'll end up with Sunny laying down some CC onto the frontliner, but Kobe pretty comfortable right now. They get the knock-up, take down Lex alive. Kitsuo is in the backline, but doesn't actually land any damage, crucially, while Kabi is able to tank up in the front. Buckzak finds a kill, and nobody's actually gone down yet for 3AM. They're just continually running down Lei Cha-Chung, who seem to have not nearly enough coordination or damage to find a kill.
Yeah, and that was a 3v5. I don't know what else to say about that. 3AM are just so far ahead, and it looks like it's just gonna end right here. The death timers are long enough that the surrender comes up, and 3AM, they've won the series. They managed to win this series 3-1, and they win the Raccoon Cup. Congrats to them.
I want to take a moment here because I thought we were going to get like some sort of crazy team fight to finish this off. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to happen. And then just the surrender. And you know what? It doesn't feel like the most hype thing, but I think it is the most convincing way that 3AM could have secured their victory in Raccoon Cup. Because as unexpected as it was, it didn't feel like Lei Cha-Chung, and certainly they didn't feel like they even had a way into the game. That's how decisive the victory was, and it's the way that we've seen 3AM play, with the exception of one game.
Yeah, pretty much. So 3AM, I honestly think with the way they played, they were pretty much the better team in this regard. Although I can't take away anything from Lei Cha-Chung regarding their mechanical ability and skill. They've more than showed it throughout this series, especially from Kitsuo and Corgi. But you know, it just wasn't enough, and it always felt like it always just feels like 3AM were just a bit better as a team, if you know what I mean. Because League of Legends still is a team game, no matter the individual performances. If you guys can't play together, you guys just get picked apart separately, then what can you do? 3AM showed none of that. They showed strong coordination, and they were able to take this series 3-1 in very convincing fashion.
Yeah, very, very clearly. Now, Lei Cha-Chung clearly have a lot of micro potential on their side, but I think it does come down to almost what you talked about with that team effort being the focal point of the way that 3AM wanted to play. And we said it from the beginning with the way that they kept drafting these front-to-back team fights. They want to fight as a unit. They keep doing that. They keep finding ways to actually execute and ultimately take down Lei Cha-Chung, secure themselves the first place spot. Lei Cha-Chung very well deservedly taking the second place, and third place has yet to be determined. That game will be played off stream, which finalizes our streams for Raccoon Cup, Miles. It has been a blast to catch the best of 5 with you, but I want to thank everybody who did manage to tune in and all of our players for giving us these incredible games to watch and cast over. Congratulations to 3AM for the victory today. And this has been Raccoon Cup 2021, hosted by SFU Esports Association. Be sure to follow us here, follow us on Discord, follow us on Facebook, join our Discord group, and keep up with all things SFU Esports right there so that you can tune into the next Raccoon Cup when it surfaces next year. I'm sure we got lots of other events on as well. So thank you everybody for tuning in so much. I've enjoyed casting with you, Miles. A big thank you to Darian, who was on production, and as I said before, to all the players and the viewers who tuned in to give us a remarkable afternoon. Have a lovely night or day.